KILIA class, and I apologize for my tardiness. Can you hear me? And can you hear the BGM? Checking. Hello class, I apologize for my lateness. However, it is not past the 30-minute mark, so therefore class is not cancelled. Again, I'm very sorry. I know you guys have made time for me, and I apologize for wasting 20 minutes of that. But I will make sure to make it up to you with a very proper lesson, okay? No BGM. Ayo, give me a minute, hang on. Do I have it muted on my music tab? It should be there, I can hear it. You should be able to hear it. Let me just boost it up a bit then, in that case. Okay, so. There we go, I think you should be able to hear that now. There is BGM, alright, cool. Are you the cool teacher archetype? I have no idea, but anyway, so. First, before anybody gets worried, staff messaged me asking if I'm okay. I am fine. I did not have a breakdown. I did not have I did not have a depressive episode. I'm not sad. I'm actually like 110% okay. I promise you that, alright? Yeah, I'm good. Alright. So, staff son, I'm alright. Thumbs up. Big thumbs up, okay? Big smile. Okay, so we are starting our lesson for today, yes? So today, welcome to Art with Skye Sensei 101. Today I will teach you how to see. The reason why the title is, how to see Master Studies and Terminology. Okay, legit, I couldn't fit the words how to see like an artist. So I thought it would be funnier to just leave it as how to see. Alright, yes, our eyes are yet to open. So I do hope that after today's lesson, you will be able to open your eyes to various different ways of seeing both the world and art. Wow, how inspiring. It sounds kind of cringe. But, okay. Basically, I will be showing you ways to do master studies, and I'll also be teaching you the terms of different elements of art and what makes up a painting in order to be able to break down things that you see. Yeah, so it would be difficult if we started first with the master studies directly, so I will begin first with various terms. Okay, so let's start with the basics now. Let me just get some stuff on the board. Alright guys, tell me, what do you see? What do you see on the board right now? Class, raise a show of hands. Who would like to answer? Who would like to answer? Tell me, what do you see on the board? Blue and green and red! Alright, yes, red, green, and blue. Very good. Now, what exactly are these things? What is blue? What is green? What is red? 3 dots. Yes, very, very good. Very good. Okay, stop looking for the colorblind. I don't... Dots, colors. Yes, we have colors. So, in regards to colors, this is what you would call like different colors, different hues. Now, when you have a color wheel, let me screenshot this. There we go. So we have a color wheel. Yes, I currently have red selected. This is our current color wheel right now. All of the different colors here, each one is a different hue. So each color has its own hue value, numerical value assigned to it. And it's usually consisting of what color it is, like green, blue, red, or the combination of such as like purple. Well, technically blue and green are a combination. Sorry, green is a combination of yellow and blue, right? So that's hue. Okay. And then, aside from that, we also have hue. Usually they'd use the term luminosity, but let's talk about value here. Okay, hue, value, and then saturation. Okay, so these are 3 key elements for color. Alright? And, in art, we use color a lot. Or, the lack of color. The lack of hue and saturation. So, basically, let's talk about value next, okay? Let me know if I'm going too fast, okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Maybe I'll put up a Q&A I think I should put up a Q&A. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, start Q&A. Art questions can go here. Okay, start Q&A. All right, cool. So, for value usually refers to how bright or how dark a color is. So this is ignoring like how colorful it is right now. So let me show you currently at this little red mark here, we have some numerical values also assigned to value. Okay, so here, this is the saturation one because it's marked with the letter S. And then here we have the value, which is marked with the letter V. So currently it is at its max value. So it's currently at its brightest and also at its most saturated. Now, if we were to say take the color white, let me screenshot that again. You can see here that. All right, hang on, let me bring that in. Now, it is absolutely not saturated since it is the color white. It has no saturation in it, which is how colorful or how vibrant the color is. But it is still at 100% value, so it's still at its brightest. Yeah, so that's what the S and V mean. You also have H, which is the hue, and it changes depending on what color you pick, right? Yeah, okay, so hue, saturation, and value is what we'll be talking about a lot, as specifically value, also in regards to talking about shadows, because shadows often deal with the difference between light and dark, right? Let's see. Now, talking about saturation, I think I've technically explained it already, right? It's basically how colorful it is. So you can have like a very deep red, and so that is a very dark value but very high saturation color. Or you could have very like pink-ish, and that is a very low saturation but high value color. And it basically is the same all across the board with each different color. So that's the basics of hue, value, and saturation. We could get a little bit more in-depth into this. Now, please note that I am self-taught. I am teaching you the way that I understand these things and the way I understand fundamentals. The way I've taught fundamentals to myself is also very self-taught. So do not take my word for gospel. I am merely interpreting my knowledge to you. So if you feel like you might learn in a better way or have a different understanding of these things, then I highly encourage you to, rather than rely on me, simply take what I'm teaching you and like integrate it in a way that works best for you. Okay. She's oh my god, shut up. Skye is the law. The law. Yeah, I've got them aviators. Are we gonna talk about color spaces in this talk, or is that out of scope? Color space. I'm trying to remember what that is exactly. Hang on, is it about proximity of colors between each other? Hang on, color space. Specific organization of colors in combination with color profiling supported by various physical devices. It supports reproducible representation of color, whether such representations entails an analog or digital representation. This does seem a bit advanced from what I'm reading here. It also deals with CMYK. That is actually quite advanced, and I will admit I don't think about it too hard. Like, I have a vague understanding of how it works. But we will be covering mainly the basics today. Yeah. So my mind is a sponge right now. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you guys are open to learning. Okay. Now, I'm gonna be a bit more abstract when I'm talking about this little next bit. Okay. Now, each inherent hue, so let's say, for example, here, yellow and blue. When you look at these colors, your mind interprets them as brighter or darker colors, right? Yellow is often seen as a very bright color, and blue is often seen as a very dark color. And in drawing, this also applies like drawing on a digital canvas. So let's put these two colors here and like put them next to each other. And I'm going to put a color layer over these, and I'm going to color them black so that they appear black and white. Now, when we fill this in, oh, you kind of can't see it, but as you can tell, the value between... Wait, let me make this a little darker so we can see it better. Alright, so the value between dark blue... Wait, let me erase this so you can see it. There we go. Alright. So the value between dark blue and yellow is very different, despite them being the same hue, value, saturations here. So that's something also to keep in mind. Blue is the crazy one, and red is the long wave, I think. That was a bit crazy. The edges were still there for a second, yeah. So, in a slightly more advanced color theory, after you get like the hang of it, people can choose to like, how do you say, like opt for, rather than colors within the same color family, like say blue, green, teal, you can like make highlights with just straight up yellow. And they could be in the same value and saturation point, but look very different. And like it would still be the same as like highlighting with just a lighter color from the same family. Okay. I think that was a bit of an advanced jump now that I think about it. I apologize. But let's go on to one more thing. Colors, the warmth, the temperature of colors, right. Okay, so let me undo this. Now, when we talk about color temperature, it's about how warm or how cold a color is. So, basically, everything from around yellow to purplish, those are warm colors. The color of flame, the color that gives off like, you know, a sense of coziness. And then here on the other side, we have cool colors, which, well, depending on how you use them, they can also be, how do you say, they can be relaxing, but they're often seen as, like, lonely, sadder colors sometimes. This rule doesn't always apply. You can manage to use them in specific ways to convey different feelings, of course, but it is important to keep in mind the temperature of a color. So let me just write that down. Temperature. Okay. It's pretty related to hues, but you don't have to think about that too much. So right now, I'm just covering basic terms that you may be seeing a lot in like digital art programs, when artists talk about their work, stuff like that. Let me see what else. Let me see. I'm looking at like the list of like tonal correction stuff. So we have brightness and contrast, right? So for brightness, I'd say it's pretty related to volume, but it is also somewhat related to saturation. When you raise the brightness of something, it'll usually bring up both the value and saturation. And that's why sometimes when like you make something brighter, it can get a little washed out, right? And then as for contrast, it's how much of a divide you have between the light and dark colors, basically. So, like, say, black on white is very high contrast, right? Like on my shirt, for example. But whereas the colors in my hair have a much lower contrast. So basically that, the clashing of colors, like how much they oppose each other. Okay, so we got that pat down, I think. Let me see, any other terms that you might want me to cover? I'll only be covering the basics for today. Again, am I going too fast? Are we getting information overload, class? Does this incorporate the light spectrum's effect on how we perceive color? And why warm colors are much larger on our visual spectrum, which is why we use them in road signs and emergency vehicles? It is true that warmer colors do tend to draw attention more. I feel like we might be able to discuss it a bit more in terms of like an art study. I will admit I'm not entirely sure how it works and why we perceive warmer colors more, but I know that it's a thing and it's something that we take advantage of in art. Yeah. Wait, I don't remember you talking about temperature. Ah, okay. So color temperature, I'll repeat it just one last time, all right? Color temperature is either a warm group or a cold group. Everything from around like warm green, yellow, orange, red, purple is a warm color, and everything from like a cooler purple, blue, teal, cyan, green is generally a cool color. This can be a bit subjective. Some people will argue that green, like most of green, is still a very warm color, and some people might argue that more of purple is still a cool color. It depends on you, but try not to think about it too rigidly, because this is a big old circle, right? You can pick wherever you think it starts and ends in relation to, you know, how you feel, how cold or how warm the color is. Yeah. Just wanted to check in with you before I head to bed. How's the picture going today? Thank you very much for checking in, Dontavius. We have not started yet. I'm just talking about basic terms for now. Red triggers hunger. That's why most restaurants use red in their signboards and logos. I have read about that. Yeah. Let me see. Any other terms? I think the next following set of things that I talk about, we can talk about them while doing a master study, or an image breakdown rather. Let me just drink some water. Class, do you have snacks and water for today's lesson? I highly recommend, because we will have recess. And if you're getting thirsty during class, please drink water. I do not want my students having heat stroke. Okay, very good. All right. So, given the fact that I have not managed to ask for any specific permissions for art pieces to use from artists, because I'd much rather ask for permission, I will be using art pieces that I think are more open domain and or open to the public. So we will be looking at classical paintings and also game splash art. So we might be seeing some League of Legends in here, because they've got some pretty damn good splash art, and maybe like Magic the Gathering cards. Alright, okay, so first let's grab a rather iconic painting. I'm sure all of you have seen this one. Where is it? Okay, so paste. This is The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer. Thank you, Mr. Vermeer. So let's do a quick breakdown study of this. Alright, so please remember that traditional painting is very different from digital painting. While both require effort from the artist, the way colors blend is not the same. Let me write that down. Let me write down blue. Okay, so trad art versus digital art. Colors blend differently. So if you are learning traditional art right now, in terms of blending colors, the results will be different. So please do take note of that. However, I will try my best to teach you like how I understand basic concepts that you can apply in both digital and traditional art. So, one thing to note here, did my mouse just die? Yeah, it did. Okay, so, as you can tell, compared to like a contemporary pop art piece, the colors here are far more subdued. And let's see, let's take some things into account. So, normally, actually, no, let's start with shadows, okay? Let me list out here. We have... Okay, so this... Where can we say is a form shadow? Okay, around here. So this little spot here where the forehead starts dipping down into the nose bridge and the eye socket, that is a... Oh my god, I'll write it in color white. A form shadow. Okay. So, a form shadow, as the name implies, tries to suggest form, the form of something. So, like, say, the form of a sphere is like spherical, right? So you have the shading going like this. And then, let me see, for a cast shadow, I guess you could say this entire section here can be interpreted as a cast shadow. I'm not 100% sure. Please do feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong, if you do have some expertise in this. So a cast shadow is basically the absence of light from the light source, like being blocked entirely. So as we can tell, the light source is coming from somewhere frontal to her. I'm trying to draw like an arrow that isn't flat. So the light source kind of looks like this, basically, right? So it's coming somewhere from the left, maybe a little bit more frontal facing, like coming from in front of her rather than say from the back. And okay, so when you have your light source shining on something, right, the cast shadow would be something like this. Like there is an absence of light on, like, say, like a table here because the sphere is blocking it. So that's what a cast shadow is. Let me write that down. Cast shadow. And a lot of the time, these two different types of shadows work in tandem together to create shape and form. So if you break this down a little bit further, while there is a cast shadow, you can see various little form shadows here, right? Suggesting like the shape and folds of the cloth. In fact, there's even like a texture over here, which we could possibly interpret that as like a lot of fabric bunching together. It looks like it was sewn together, actually, like over here. Perhaps maybe to keep the form of the fabric up here, or maybe just like the fabric around the shoulders. I'm not really sure. That's like an entirely different field for fabric structure, but you can see the little shapes created by these darker values, right? And like you have another fold here, and then it possibly looks like the fabric's folding like this. So these little things here are form shadows, and a lot of the time, a lot of detail and texture come from that. Whereas, like for me, cast shadows often interact a lot more with the environment. Aside from that, let's see, what else do we have? Another piece that would also help us understand light and shadow a bit more, something more reflective, the earring here. So now, the more reflective an object is, the more likely it is going to have like a highlight. So the highlight in this case would be here, and it is reflecting the most light. Like this is the area, this highlight here. Okay, so highlight, right? Highlight is the little spot on something that is most affected by the light source. And it doesn't necessarily always need to be so concentrated. Usually for metallic objects, more reflective things, water, spoons, certain kinds of, like, I don't know, syrup, those things have very strong highlights. However, this one also has highlights of her own on her face. We can see it here on the lips, here at the corner of the mouth. We have it here in the eyes. Eyes are wet. Wet objects tend to have more highlights. Technically, this entire area around her face, the T-bone, the T-zone, and then cheekbone areas are much lighter than the rest of her face, catching most of the light. You could interpret this as like the highlight zone. However, because the material of skin is much more matte, much less reflective, it isn't as concentrated. If she had oily skin, then we might be seeing like more like dots reflecting that. Yeah. So let me see. The shadow on her blue headdress is saturated in the cast shadow. Yes, thank you for noticing that. So, oh wait, maybe I should keep this. I feel bad for desecrating this art piece, but yeah, let's keep it like that for now. Okay, can someone not have a highlight zone? When stylizing, yes, you can omit highlights for a stylistic effect. But like, generally, most things do have a highlight simply because of the fact that a light source exists. In stylized fashions, sometimes they completely omit like cast shadows, form shadows, and have it like a flat 2D piece, right? That is also entirely valid, but that is more so a stylistic choice rather than the possibility of somebody not having one, I guess. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So let's talk about shadows. Now, specifically these saturated shadows here. This is something I kind of learned over time. So let's take the color here. So this is the color around her bandana where the shadow starts, and then going around, say over here. This is the like much darker shadows. Wait, let me get that for you. Okay, I'm going to screenshot the color wheel, okay? And I will show you the values of each color. So this is the lighter shadow, and then the one for the darkest points. Something interesting you may find is that the lighter shadow is, yes, it's blue. However, the one here, over here, wait, where's my pen? Is actually a dark red. And you have a good eye that you're able to catch that. Sometimes it can be very difficult to spot that. Shadows and colors, the effect that makes it look like a shadow is all relative. Colors are very relative to each other. So you can give off the illusion that is a shadow, like an actual... you can give off the illusion that's a shadow even if you use an entirely different color. Colors change color in relation to other colors around them. Yes, exactly. That's deliciously subtle. So like, say you could, like I mentioned earlier, right? You could use a yellow and a blue to use to make it a highlight, right? The same thing for shadows happen here. There's a rule of thumb I learned somewhere that cool colors. So cool colors have dark shadows, and then warm colors have cool shadows. I forgot where exactly I learned this and why exactly, but I think it also has something to do with when there is an absence of light, there is less saturation, and making a cool color transverse to a warm color and vice versa often leads to desaturation, something like that. It's your Skye sophisticated size. What the heck? Pay attention to class. More accurately, our minds perceive the colors differently when they're next to different colors. Yeah. So let's see. To check that theory, let's grab this yellow color here, and then let's grab this color here. These ones are a bit more similar to each other. The yellow of the scarf, and then the darker shadow of the scarf. Here, let me just screenshot that for you. It is still brown and still pretty close to the original base color. Let me grab that for you, one sec. Okay, so you can still create shadows within the same color family, and that does lead to a lot more like color harmony or whatever they call it. But you may notice that the value shifts a little bit, and it does go a bit more towards this warmer color here, right? A lot of other artists tend to recommend that you shift your colors a bit more to this, like to the colder sides when you're coloring something. Like if you're using a warm color, shift it more to the cooler colors as you go down the scale, basically, like this, right? You can also go the other way, but I think that is like a situational case and also stylistic case, because you can technically like shade, say this with like, hang on, like this, but it really depends on what, like a lot of different factors, like such as environment. Like in the background, is there something green? Would that warrant the use of this color or something like that? I guess we could study a photograph next. Let me get... Hang on a second. Let me get... Let's say... Okay, I need to go to Pexels, free stock images. Let's get a room. Let's go find any random room. Okay. Actually, I think one that might be a good example... Ah, this one. This one is by Vesislavas Popa. Thank you very much, Vesislavas Popa. Where is it? Where's my Clip Studio Paint? Alright, so we have this picture. This is from real life, I'm pretty sure. I hope. So, there are so many interesting choices to make that are so easy to gloss over. Yeah, and that's why pointing them out and training your eye to see them helps you identify these more. Don't feel bad if you don't quite like have those senses yet. It's normal. It really is something you develop more over time by making conscious thoughts, conscious like notes as you look at something. Like at this very moment, you could be judging my model right now and like trying to pick it apart, but take it a step at a time, because it does get overwhelming and it can hurt the brain. It can hurt the brain a lot, so take it easy, especially if you're starting out. Gee. Okay, so going over to this image here, let's do a little bit of blue lining here. I'm not using red because apparently that scares children and me. So, something to note. We have a nice little living room, very nice. Lots of different textures to look at. We have here, let's focus on the lighting first, okay? We have here warm lights. So let's go grab the color of our lights and the next nearest color to it. These are spots that are very highly illuminated by this color, right? Okay, so our main color is this like warm white. Actually, it's kind of leaning towards the green area. Hang on, it's all the way over here. Okay. So that's that one. And then we have... Give me a sec. It's really hard to bring these over. Yeah. Now we have like... Yes, this is warm lighting, right? It's giving yellow. But you will notice at the corners of the room where light is not directly shining on it, we have it's kind of hard to see. Can I shift this a bit? I'll just put the okay, let's make a neutral area. Let's put color black here. Oh, let's put color black here. There we go. So now you can see it better. Where are we? Here we go. It is color blue. One sec. There. So I don't know if this is just the way that color works specifically, since this is a photo from reality, like how light and our eyes work or whatever. But general rule of thumb, your shadows tend to be cooler if you have warm lighting, and then if you have cool lighting, shadows tend to be warmer. From what I can tell, in reality though, generally even in cold lighting, shadows can be kind of cool. But let's go look for a picture with cool lighting. All right, Pexels, give me something to work with here. Do you have like a bathroom that I can use? Bathrooms tend to have white lights instead of yellow or warm lights. Damn, I don't know, bruv. Okay, let's search bathroom. Bathroom. It's a bit of a pickle. Okay, let's take this picture and show why the thing I just said earlier does not apply also in all cases. Okay, wait, does this one work? This one looks kind of nice. Looks like it has cool lighting, but at the same time, it also has warm elements in the room. Okay, all right, now we have a pink bathroom. So we have a pretty cold light. Let me make a little swatch area over here. Okay, so there's this. And then the areas directly illuminated by it are kind of bluish. Now, let's take the room itself. Okay. I think you guys, if you can tell if your monitors are calibrated well, it does look a little bit warmer, right? Even if I haven't brought in the color wheel just yet. Okay. So, actually, wait, this kind of proves the theory, right? Shit. Well, I made a mistake. Anyway. So, is this the highlight? Yeah, this is the highlight. Okay, so let's screenshot the highlights thing. Can I bring it over without having to zoom out? Maybe I should have worked on a smaller canvas. Okay. So that's the highlight color. And then for this one, we've got I forget, there's a term for this specifically. Like the is this diffusion light? I'm not really sure. It might be. And then for the shadows or where light is not present, we have this. Okay, give me a sec. Alright. So as we can see here, our white is color white. We have blue for the direct illumination, and then for our shadows, we have something. Surprise! It's in yellow-green, and that's compared to these two colors over here, right? So technically, these colors are over here in this zone. We have something all the way over here for our shadow. All right. So I guess, yeah, okay, apparently, yeah, if you use cool lights, you get warm shadows. Doesn't always 100% apply. There are some instances where that, you know, it's not exactly, the rules don't always apply, but, you know, you have to learn the fundamentals before you can break them, as they say. Let me see. Like, does this thing apply? Wait, who took this picture? Max Rahubovsky. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Max Rahubovsky. Okay, next one is actually, from looking at this picture, I think the same rules apply, so I'm gonna skip that. Let me see. Okay, so I think at this point it would be good to talk about a tool in digital art for different groups. All right, different groups of values. So you have, hang on, let me go to color balance. All right, so it's called the highlight, right? Highlight. You have midtones, and then you have the shadows. All right, so basically, highlights are the brightest with the highest value, right? The color value, right? Midtones, they are basically like the base colors of everything, pretty much. Like everything in the middle. So let's just say base, middle value. And then for shadows, you know, your darkest values, right? So on the art wheel, basically, the color wheel, sorry. Let me bring this down to 50. Ugh. Think about them like this. Basically, let me bring this over. Okay. So let me mark it with some colors here. So over here, this, you could say that this is your highlight area. Around here is your midtone area. And then over here, you have your shadows area. Basically speaking, again, because colors and values are very subjective, remember when we turned blue and yellow, black and gray? That thing? Like, they can be treated differently depending on what colors are next to them, basically. So you'll have to just kind of develop your sense for that, rather than it being a hard set rule. Let me see, what else? I should probably be asking in the Q&A what I will do for what we'll do what? Oh, sorry, I will do that for now on. Okay, how could you use the warmer and colder shadow thing in practice? Okay, so let me see. Let's start with, I guess, an orange. Let's make an orange, right? Okay. So for an orange, let's try to put it into practice. It's going to be one really weird looking orange. Okay, so I chose a very saturated color. Let's tone it down a bit. Okay, all right. That's an orange. That's an orange color. Okay, and so basically, what I'll be doing here is I'm going to slowly shift the color this direction and kind of go like this. So as you can see, I've already picked a different color from the base color, like that, right? It's not too big of a difference. Can I lock this layer? I will lock this layer. So I'm going to put the shadow here, right? So this, I'm starting with a cast shadow here. I'm sorry, is this a cast shadow? There's like a diagram somewhere. Maybe I should pull that up. I should probably be pulling that up. Hang on. Let me get sphere shading diagram. There we go. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's copy this. Okay, I haven't taught you guys about like reflective lights yet. So that's another thing. Okay. So yeah, that's the shadow edge. We have a shadow edge around here. So it's kind of the point where the object starts to block out light. Like, say if you had a cube, that would be very abrupt, but since we have a sphere, it's a little bit softer, right? And we have around here, this would be our like half tone or the mid area, right? And then for an orange, we could have some highlights. I'm going towards yellow now. So wait, let me shift that out of the way. So I'm going this way for highlights, so towards yellow because it's very bright. Okay, and then let's say that the highlights around here, just blend that out a bit. Okay, and then all right, where do we go from here? I need a reference image for this, I think, because I haven't seen an orange in a while. When I say in a while, like maybe a month. The orb shadow homework. It's because it's very good for teaching the fundamentals of how it works. What's with the brush shape? It's a textured brush. It tries to emulate, you know, the unevenness of a brush. Rather than a solid circle brush. Okay. Panopticon, thank you for the yellow super chat. Skye Love, thank you. Thank you so much. So with an orange, right? Let's say we've cut off the stem on the top of this orange. There would be like a little indent around here, right? Let me make it less saturated. This is not the same color as the one we have here, as you can see. But it does kind of achieve a similar effect of making it look like a shadow, right? Like a little bit of a dip.
For me?
Oh, thank you again, Super. Wait, Shima! Annalise, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, welcome. Hello to the raiders. And Anna Raid, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm having a bit of an art class here, and I totally wasn't 20 minutes late or anything. Welcome. I hope you had a good stream. Hi, I'm Skye Shinyu, and please forgive the TTS that's gonna repeat for a while. I do art. I like to sing. I do a lot of random stuff on this channel, so pleased to meet you. Well, I hope you had a fun stream, that you get the rest well. Wait, hang on. What's your fandom name? Hi, Shima. Thank you so much. Thank you. What were you doing today? I hope you had fun. I've kind of lost track about what I was doing. Oh my god, Panopticon, thank you again. Guys, please make sure to thank Panopticon, okay, if you received a gift. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of working without a reference right now, so I'm kind of lost. They are chipmates, and I was playing Power World. Oh, nice! Well, hello, nice to meet you, Shima, and chipmates. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You were oranging?
I barely knew her.
Yeah, and I don't think my orange has been very good. Hang on, let me just go grab a random orange.
I barely knew her.
Member, I barely knew her. Copy. Image.
Member, I barely knew her.
Okay. Wow, that's a big orange. All right. Let me size that down a bit.
Member, I barely knew her.
I do think here this does look like it was taken with colder lights, and I'm kind of comparing the two different colors. Yeah. It became more saturated here at the darker areas. Let me like this. Yeah. So basically, please don't look at my orange next to the real photorealistic oranges. How do you say? This is a hunch, but like I think the fact that there are a bunch of oranges together also causes them to reflect the colors and light off of each other, which makes the saturation of the shadows much warmer, much more saturated. Yeah. It looks big because there are actually 3 oranges. I know. Let's get a picture of a lone orange that isn't super photo edited. Actually, looking at all of these oranges, they're all very saturated. Damn. My art knowledge has been foiled again. God damn it. To be fair, I can't really tell if all of these have been photo edited in the first place to make it appear more appealing. So these might not be very reliable. Yeah. Let's see. Are those shadows added in post? Maybe? You never really know. Because like I wasn't part of the production process of this, so I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. Looking at this picture. I'm not sure how edited this one is. So let's take, like, this is the brighter area. It's very yellow. And then over here, while it does, excuse me, go towards, hang on, let me take a screenshot of the 2 colors. Oh shit. Paste, grab. Okay, so this is the lit up color of the orange. And then this one is the past the shadow point of the orange. So you can see, starting from over here, let's use a blue. Starting from over here, it kind of went like this way, but then it also went this way along the color wheel. So yeah, generally the practice works. Again, I think going in the opposite direction really depends on the situation. I haven't found myself in that enough to be able to talk about it. Definitely experiment. Don't limit yourself to just these rules. If you want to shade it with green, do it. I highly recommend that you do it. See if it works for you. Who knows? Maybe you might discover a new technique that you like. Let me see. Damn, there's a lot of oranges on my board. There's a lot of oranges on my board. Okay, let me see. What else do I want to talk about? Hang on, let me go check the Q&A section. Is this CSP? Yes, this is CSP. This is Clip Studio Paint. I do have experience with Skye, Paint Tool Skye, but I've been using CSP for the past few years. So this is the process you use when you're creating your own art from your mind. Wait, hang on. It got buried under the hiccups. Where is it? It got buried. Damn, I don't know where it is anymore. This is so sad. Anyway, okay, let's move on. When working with flat tones and ignoring shadow highlight, do you tend to use high saturation, high value so it pops, or something more mid-range? Generally, like, this is like my own personal preference. I start with very saturated colors. Let me see, is there anything that I can... Because for me, with the way that I work, things tend to get pretty desaturated anyway. So, which is why I tend to bring up more saturated colors. Let me grab some art pieces of mine that I drew of myself. in like somewhat different styles. I'll open like the CSP file ones. Where is it? Where's the rest? Where's the rest? You know what? Good enough. Let's open these three. Okay, so we have this art piece, right? The style did call for some very neon colors, so I chose some very, very saturated colors like this one. As you can see, it's pretty high on the saturation scale. Like, it may be around here, but that's still pretty saturated. And we have this one. Also pretty saturated. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, these darker colors too. The one near the one that I use as my quote-unquote black color, but it's not actually black. It's a very, very dark royal blue. Yeah. And then for this one, for example, this chibi art, actually, surprisingly, these aren't too saturated. They all kind of stick around. Here, let me get like the most saturated color here. Where is it? My god, which one is it? Actually, my line art is the most saturated. You can use saturation as darkness too, by the way. As you can see here, the line art is actually the darkest color. It's this thing around here. Whereas, heck, even these aren't that. Well, they're pretty saturated, I guess. But like the rest of the colors, like the hair and the skin and the blush, they seem to stick around this area. Since I draw a lot of anime girls, I do tend to stick around this point a lot. Yeah. Let me see. When drawing darker skin tones, I try to stick around like here, around here, because it's very easy. Also, like the darker you go, it can be easy to make things more muddy. So I try to compensate with that by working around this area, and then instead of just constantly going this way, I'll try to grab more saturated colors from like, say, these areas or like these areas, depending on the person's like skin tone and such, so that it doesn't appear muddy, so it still appears like lively and like rather than ashy, because unless you want your character to look ashy, of course. Yeah. What else do we have? Yes, casual Skye. We've got this, right? How saturated? It's not very saturated at all. But yeah, usually like my base colors, I'll try to make sure that I work a bit more saturated, and then like kind of work the other way around, especially if it's a more pastel looking look. Is there anything else that I can pull out here? Is there anything else? Let me look. I haven't really done that many colored pieces as of late. We got the cute Nakanojo art, this thing. You can see here that I have chosen that armpit top. Please. You can see here that there are some very extremely saturated points to draw the viewer's attention in, right? Like everything else isn't as like crazy bright as these. These are 100% saturation and value. This one is a bit darker, but still generally like 100% and a high contrast. Yeah. These are very high contrasting pieces in comparison to like literally everything else around here. Yeah. And you can use contrast as well to guide your viewers' eyes. For example, you guys see this, right? This is a very high contrast point. There is like a big dark shadow. There are some very defined forms. There's a lot of contrast going on here to draw the viewer's attention, right? So usually, places that you want to be able to draw attention are like the face. Like, for example, eyes, right? You can see here, the eye line is a lot darker. It pops out. Like, even on my model's face, like, my eyeliner is very dark, right? you want to draw attention, you want to focus on the face quite often. If you don't want to, you can like blur it out, make it less contrasting. Like say for example, you want to make a pinup and you want to focus here. You put all your detailing and attention here, not here, right? My eyes went directly to the eyes. They really do pop. That's good. That's good because that is also another focal point that I wanted people to focus on, right? So like, yeah, for character arts, it's usually very important to bring out the face. Another focal point that I think I did draw in was hands. So you can see they're very detailed. And they're also a bit more saturated because, well, I like adding basically the veins, the fleshiness of hands there. Other items that bring in the viewer's eyes, like this black bracelet, very high contrast point in comparison to the skin, right? Yeah, let me see. And here, it might be because the details are also smaller and such, but like, these aren't as, say, eye-catching, like the details on the shirt, as like these other elements, I think. I did put attention to them though, because, well, you know, fabric fun to render. Let me see, what else can I bring up? Oh wait, oops, hang on. Open. What else do we have here? We can talk about the donathon price. That's not fully rendered really though. I don't really have that many art pieces I can show. Let me see. I could technically talk about Navi's commission since, you know, everybody knows that I'm the one who made it. Let's see. All right, here. So, let me see. Very much focal point for Navi is the face. Let me redline this. So I really did want people to focus on her. We do have other elements that she requested me to put in, such. I tried to make sure that I didn't draw too much attention everywhere else. Honestly, I think I kind of failed to do that because we have some very high saturation points here and here. Very colorful hair from the other girls, which I probably should have taken into account because Navi has white hair, right? And that can lose viewers' attention compared to the saturation of the rest of her gen mates' designs. Did I animate it myself? Yes. Yes, I did. So I think you can you see it? Is this separated? Yeah. It's separated for live 2D. It's very simple separations though. So sorry I'm pulling her apart like this right now, but yeah, I kept this very simple. Because it's not like a full VTube thing model, right? So usually there'd be more separations, but yeah, I kept it relatively simple. If I wanted to do a better job at bringing more attention to Navi next time, I'd probably like make sure that everything's not as saturated. Maybe bring more colors closer together. It can be kind of hard to do at times, especially if you don't do enough floor planning. And I haven't practiced a lot with backgrounds as of late. I've been very much a character artist only. This just became a horror stream. Wait till I start doing live 2D streams. You're gonna have nightmares, I guess. Her moving also steals attention back though. No, yes, that is true. But that's as a video, right? As a video file. Afterwards, like, I'm sorry, rather before that, as an image, there's a lot of things fighting for your attention. For example, this very detailed painting that I made in the background. You have things here that stick out on the screens. However, she did want them also to be visible, so there's that. You have this, you have the keyboard, you have this, very high saturation. Suddenly, this water bottle just doesn't feel like it incorporates well into the rest of the piece. A lot of different things are fighting for attention here, and I feel like next time I could do better, you know? And you know, make sure that the focal point, the main attraction, the little cutie patootie on the screen gets all the attention, even when she's not moving, you know? So definitely lesson learned. Yeah. Probably just me, but the face really holds my attention for a while before my eyes wander around. I think that might also be thanks to composition, because she does take up a very big part of the screen, right? Whereas all these different elements are taking up individual little parts of the screen. And I think it's also normal human nature to identify things that look like people the most first. Like, you know how we see faces in, like, say, I don't know, if you're hanging something in the corner of your room, like a t-shirt, and then, like, it's all bunched up, right? And you feel like you see a face at night. That's just your brain trying to identify and look for something, a pattern recognition, right? So I think pattern recognition does bring you to Navi first, along with the composition that I put in here. I've kind of got like a rule of thirds kind of thing going on. To make it a bit more appealing, she takes up about this much, and then the rest of the elements take about like the other 2/3. Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. I never noticed the gen mates. I feel like one of those Mandela effects. Really? I see, but yeah, as you can see, they're all also lovingly rendered. I also took quite a bit on the painting too. But yeah, I made sure to, you know. Well, that's another issue with, like, me, I think, specifically. I don't know, but it's very easy to get lost in details and wanting to make everything look good. Because sometimes you do have to sacrifice detail in order to be able to, like, make the piece as a whole good. Just because each and every individual thing looks really great doesn't mean that everything else will when you put it all together. There are some artists out there who have extremely detailed pieces that each and every little nook and cranny of it is like jam-packed full of detail. I forget who they are specifically, but there's this one artist who draws like big, very detailed eyes, a little bit of gore, and like very detailed nails, lots of sparkle, lots of glitter, lots of detail, and like little clips and accessories, kind of like Decora almost. And the reason why it works so well is because every part of it is like that, and there's unity in that. Whereas here with mine, there is no unity between each individual item. So I would say this is a pretty rookie piece. To be fair, I haven't been able to practice a lot with background, so I'm gonna go easy on myself with that, but next time, definitely something to take into account. I heard in painting that you should be able to see the whole picture while painting to keep in mind how everything works together. Yeah. There are ways to do that even before you start finalizing anything. But I'm not sure if we'll include that in today's lesson. What's in our title again? How to see master studies and terminology. I feel like we've already covered terminology and how to see. Now for master studies, I think there's more that we could talk about with that. When you said gore artist, my mind went to... I'm not sure who Natrix is. Lighting is so hard, especially with multiple light sources. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Leans back in chair. Oh, you know it. You know it. I have a couple of stuff I have sitting in my folders, but I cannot show it to you guys, unfortunately. Let me see. This is my Hatsukoi Nikki stuff. Can I talk about this? Does this work? There is a bit of color unity in here, like with the colors that I've picked. Let me show you guys. Like, we've got the bright yellow, and this one's like a muddy red. Overall, it's meant to be like a very cold color piece. So this all kind of works together. It's also stylized because I've kind of chosen there to be not a specific light source. You could interpret it as like light coming down from above like this. But there are some inconsistencies here and there. Just to, yeah. Let me see. I think, oh yeah, like for example, over here, you might notice this. So the flower, right? It's very lit up. I decided that there would be highlights here around the chin area. This is reflective light from a very bright object in close proximity to it. I think to talk about that, what's it called? Reflective lights and like rim lights and highlights and stuff like that. Let's look at some League splash art. Um, let's close all of this. No, don't save it! No! Wait, no! Wait a second! Wait, I accidentally... Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Wait, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the Major Violet thing? Holy crap, where did it go? Oh, no, now I just have a file sitting there with a bunch of... Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Oh, no. Which one are you? Is it this one? Okay, this one, and this one. I think I can just delete these. Okay, we're good. It's fine. We can close that now. Okay, let me also just do not save. Do not save. Okay. All right, let's get. Where is it? I decided let's look at Mordekaiser's art. Can I copy paste this? Will it allow me? Please, Reddit, give me the sauce. Okay, cool. We got Mordekaiser here. Very nice. Is this the full art? Is this really the full art? I hope so. Actually, no, wait. This looks like a generative fill. Just in case, I'm gonna check around just to make sure that this is correct. Is it correct? No, it is correct. No, never mind. Yeah, people are adding to it with generative AI. Wait, I want to look at the base work. Hang on. Minus AI. I'm glad I could spot that, actually. Yeah, I'm glad I could spot that. Okay, let's go over... Let me see. Tools. Image size. Large. Give me the biggest one. Is that really it? Really? Reddit. Reddit! Skye has AI spotting Shinigami eyes. Well, I guess it does help that I have a trained eye, but otherwise it's very hard to identify, right? Let me see. Is this as big as it? Why is it so blurry? Okay, do I have to go onto the League site to get it? I might have to go onto the League site to get it. I'm sad. I'm sad. How about this one? Oh my god! Why is there robot inflation in the Alibaba ads? Leave me alone! What the hell? What's a girl gotta do to just find some skins? Jesus! Leave me alone! Alright, League of Legends. Characters. I'm sure their website has that. Champions. There we go. Alright. I am not going to send a screenshot of that. Plus, I already closed it, so let's not talk about it. Alright. Ilawi, Jace, Jinx, Kartus, and LM. Mordekaiser. There we go. Just me. Okay. I guess this is about as high quality as we're gonna get. Alright. I'm gonna just make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Lots of different forms of light coming here. Okay. Of course, there's some stylistic choices, such as, you know, like glowy steam. Maybe is this steam? Is this smoke? It's probably smoke, bubbling stuff. Okay, so, let's identify some things. So we have here our main figure, yes. Now, he's also a very good subject to study because he has a lot of reflective elements to him. Okay, so, we have light here coming from what can be presumed as above. Now, we don't know how far exactly, how far the light in the clouds go. You know, when it's stormy, you do tend to, while it is very dark, there is like that big patch of light that comes through at the top, and it can kind of extend pretty far. Because what makes sense to me is that there is light reflecting off of this little patch here, right? This little patch on his helmet. However, I'm not exactly sure where this is coming from. But if we presume that the light coming from the clouds goes all the way like forward towards the viewer, right? Like, sorry, I'm trying to make like a frontal facing arrow thing. Doesn't really make sense, but anyway. Then it makes sense that this is also catching light. These parts here, right? And here. And then we have, aside from environmental light, which is also affecting items in the background, as you can see. And please note again, there is lack of detail, yes, in the background because they're not focal points. And because they blend in so much with the background, there is a sense of harmony. And we've got this grouping here. We have things in the background. We have things in the mid-ground, or like the central piece. And then we have items here in the foreground, which depending on the artist or like what you're going for, can be more or less detailed as the items in the middle ground. You can focus on like certain items like in the background or in the foreground, the middle ground, but usually your main subject will be in the middle of everything. If we look closely at the knight here, while he does have texture, I'm assuming he's a knight, a soldier or whatever. While he does have texture, he doesn't have as much detail going on as Mordekaiser at the center of the piece. It's a skylight. The flash from the camera, obviously. Oh yeah, how could I forget about the cameraman who's also running in the middle of the battlefield trying not to die? Yeah. King of Brazil, take me to Brazil! And like over here we got like this shadowy hand thing. Is this his, what's his skill? The thing that comes up from the ground, he grabs and pulls them in. That's actually nice detail. Again, not as much detail as there possibly could be. Like for example, the smoky clouds here. Let's compare them to this one. Like looking over here, there is like the values around this section are a bit muddied, right? Like hang on, can I do this? Like I'm looking, okay, here, let's compare and contrast the thing on the scale. Hang on. And then this lighter color, give me a sec. Okay. All right. So the somewhat lighter part of the shadow is here. So it's like literally like right here. They are very, very close to each other. And that's good because it's a, oh, wait a second. Nemo, hi. We were just talking about well, I was critiquing my own piece that I made for you. You're calling him Chris Motorcycle? Nemo, that's my husband you're talking about. I'm kidding. Just kidding. Mordekaiser, he's a very good subject to talk about. We don't talk about the thing I said during debut, okay? His name is Motorcycle. Yeah, I'll write him. I mean, wait. Sorry. League? Oh my god, Kiki, not you too. Oh my god, why is everybody coming out? What? Real skylights, remember? Oh my god, that in a... Well, I wouldn't be opposed to being coached by Navi, but I'm also scared because she might get mad at me. Anyway, oh my god, I've summoned the league players. It's over for me. It's over. But thank you for both being here. Thank you, guys. Let's continue to the lesson, shall we? Let's continue with the lesson, shall we? All right. Okay. So, as you can see, these values here in the back are very muddied. I would argue that they are roughly similar to the values around here in the piece. Like, it pretty much blends into it, right? In the background, right? Skye will not get mad at you. I only get mad at my 500 game jungler who runs it the fuck down. Oh no. Okay. Note to self, never play jungler. It's okay. I have learned to be a top lane main because I do not have the brain power to worry about anyone else yet. Okay, let me see. So after that, let's see. Other elements to talk about. We were talking about the smoke, right? Okay, so let's talk about the smoke over here. Now let's grab the brightest point and then like a not so bright point between the two. Ah, here, look. Okay, so this is like the brightest main color near like the weapon. I forgot. Does he use a hammer? Does he use a mace? I know the name is in reference to a song, but anyway. And then here is the darkest color well, not really the darkest, like second darkest color. The darkest color would be like down over here. like this. Okay, so let's screenshot the color differences. Excuse me. Excuse me. And then let's grab this one. Okay. I don't think you guys can hear my system sounds anymore. And then let's grab this one. Okay, cool. Alright. We have here... Okay, let me grab like a pink color. So this is like one of the brighter colors. Not the brightest, but one of the brighter colors. I would say it's about around here. And then in comparison to the shadow, it's a pretty big gap compared to the one that's over here, right? They're pretty relatively close. After that, Tusker. We have here the darker color here for the shadow, and it's also purple, if you've noticed. So, arguably, I would say that's a warm shadow color. Like the shadow colors used here for Mordecai's art piece, they're most likely warmer than the colors next to them. I noticed that around here, yeah, it's like red-ish. When it goes to absolute black, though, sometimes your color picker may swap between like blue and green, but that's just because the software is trying to interpret what color it is. Alright, so let me see. So the colors for green would be like roughly around here. This is like just my approximate. So still a pretty big gap between just these three different values. There's more, but yeah, there's higher contrast here, right? Compared to stuff that's happening in the background. I guess you could argue this is the mid ground of your piece, but it's not exactly your focal point. However, it does a very nice job of... Actually, let me just hide these. Yeah, let me just hide these. It does a very good job of framing. Like... You can kind of argue that the things kind of like point towards Mordecai's, or at least draw attention to him. Actually, I'm trying to figure out how this framing works exactly. How does it work exactly? I guess it's just more of a vibe thing for me. I'm very much more intuitive rather than what you call it, technical, honestly. But yeah, you've got like his wing pieces also like drawing the viewer in like this. And we do again have high contrast points here at the head, and also his eyes. His eyes are, you know, they glow. And compared to everything else that's just really like dark around him, it draws in the viewer's eye. Vibes are the best. So they're using a broader palette to help draw attention via contrast. Yes, and also, just in general, he's a really big hunka-lunka metal. But like and the fact that there's just so much dark, you know, his armor's colored black, right? So all of these other elements working around him, this bright light, this bright patch of sunlight coming through the clouds, the glow coming from within him, this thing over here, yeah, basically via contrast, that's how it brings it. How they bring the eye towards towards Mordekaiser. Because say if you had like just more dark clouds around here, his head would be very muddied. But they do want the visage of his head to be visible, so which is why they have a bright background here, and even more interest here. This little, is this like flaming? Is this the flaming of his soul? Something tells me there's like a bit of battle damage here, but then again, he's got battle damage everywhere, so I mean, anyway. And then let's see what other elements to inspect. We have this does tell a story. I think every good art piece tells a story, whether it's within the piece or within the context of the piece. We've got here sword breaking, right? And we've got a little bit of, what's it called? When you strike like flint and steel, you get those little sparks, basically. Sparks of a broken blade, and then they draw attention to the blade, but not too much, by highlighting it here, and also making sure that there's enough contrast of the blade compared to Mordecai's body, because too little contrast and it would get lost compared to his body. Too much and it would compete. It would compete with the viewer's attention for the rest of the piece. So like these little details and effects are subtle enough, but just enough to like create intrigue and also add a little sparkle, quite literally, to the piece. So there's that. And also they didn't forget to make sure that the guy in the foreground doesn't get too lost either, because it is a part of the story that they're trying to tell. So yeah, it's also all about making decisions on what you want to draw attention to, what you just want to use as like I don't know, like how do you describe this? What's the bread of your sandwich and what's the fillings, basically. I'd say the bread of the sandwich is like the stuff around here, like all the extra little fluff. And then your fillings, your schmeaty, meaty fillings are there at the center. Not always in the center, quite literally, but you get what I mean, right? I'm just thinking, imagine being the dude having the sword being broken, you know, he fucked up. Oh yeah. God, I wish that were me. But anyway, anyway, sorry. Would you guys like to call for recess? And then let's continue. I think it's time for recess. And then let's continue studying a few other pieces. Yeah. Don't worry, we won't just study this one. I'm thinking of bringing in some like Magic the Gathering. I think that should be okay. Magic the Gathering cards. Sick Reese's and loses in their collars. Yeah, I think I will use the little teacher's room. So I will leave the hall pass with you guys. You guys got the hall pass. And feel free to come and go as you please. We'll recoup in a bit. Probably I'll just talk for like 15 minutes. Just chit chat. And then yeah, I'll be back, okay? Alright, sure, anarchy, chaos, yeah, whatever. You're not my responsibility right now. Just kidding. Behave. Behave, class. Behave. Or I will bring this up to the principal. Don't make me get you in detention. What the heck? Nani sore? Oh, hang on. Gotta... Oh... These glasses, bit of a trouble to wear, if I may say. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I'll BRB. Where's OBS? BRB. What on earth are you doing, class? Excuse me. Don't make me lock you up in the rubber room. Rubber room? A rubber room filled with rats. Do rats make you crazy, class? Yeah, okay. Go back to your seats. Alright, Kiki, you gotta write down the kids who are naughty and noisy. Write them down on the board. I trust you. See me after class. I'm kidding. Jason, it's the fuzz. Yes, ma'am. Told you to start the game. We'll do, Commander. I bet, but though I do have a genuine question. How many of you would want to have what do you call it? Assignments for extra credit? How many of you want to take some extra credit, huh? Let me put the shades on top, I think. And what I mean by extra credit is I mean by, do you want to have like art assignments or like just art critique redlining sessions? Like in members? I feel like members would probably be a better space for that, possibly. And I want extra credit. All right. So I'll be putting you on your thesis. You have to make an entire 1 minute animated project, and then you have to submit it within 3 months. And you have to procure all of the sound effects, music, and staffing on your own. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So no after class RP, then no. No. I mean, like, legit, do you want me to like redline and correct work or something? Though I don't know how many people we have here who really draw that much is the thing. So I don't know. Maybe I could like just have that as a regular stream or something. I'm sorry, Kiki. PTSD flashbacks for college. I'm sorry, Chris. Would you have time to do that? That's the thing. No, but that's the kind of conditions that they put multimedia students in, or animation students in, you know? Hi. I don't draw. My art would just be a giant red block. We could critique that too, you know? But yeah, I don't think we have enough people who draw that much in the community to warrant like a whole stream for it in members. So yeah, maybe like if anybody wants to submit or like has a friend who wants to submit, we could do that, you know? Stick figures suffice? But of course! But of course! And I mostly do calligraphy. That's definitely not an area I have expertise in at all. So I can appreciate it, but I don't think I would be able to like critique it at all. I'm kind of interested in mini assignments though. Mini assignments would be cool. Do you want me to give you all homework for later? I'd love to submit something and see your critique. Alright, okay. I do have a question though. Yes, feel free to ask. And I'll also check the Q&As before we continue talking about like anything lesson related. We could put on the art tag. Yeah. I just doodle with pen on important documents. I probably should write on mood. Are you a rat, Skye? Cause you make me crazy. Rats, we are the rats. I guess I am a rat then. Homework? Hell no, you can't fluck me on extra credit. Do I drive you insane? Do I keep you to drive you up the walls? I better be, because if I'm not, then I'm not doing my job right. I'm kidding. Hi, Razante! Hello! You just got here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let me see. So, where is the Q&A? What's a good method, in your opinion, to choose a palette if you only have the idea of one color you want to have? There are some color theory things. Hang on, let me go Google them up specifically. Color theory. Where is it? There we go. Copy. Let me just bring this over. And wait, let me move myself aside real quick. This isn't like related to the main lesson, but I'll just go anyway. Ah! Poka! Hi, Poka! Hi! Welcome to the stream! Thank you so much. Poka, what's the name of your fan base again? I forgot. But hello! Thank you so much for the raid. Wait, do you have the wrench? Hang on, are you in chat so I can give you the wrench? Give me a minute. Where are you? You do have the rest. The wrench. Blah blah. Fandits, hello Fandits, hello Poco. We are ignore Mordekaiser on the screen. We're talking about art lessons. Actually, technically, we did do a whole critique on or rather a breakdown of the league art. But yes, we're doing art lessons today. Earlier, I covered a bunch of like terms that are commonly used in digital art and stuff like that. I like arcane. It's okay. Oh, okay. Phew. But Mordecai is not arcane yet. But anyway, thank you so much. I hope you had fun at your stream. What did you guys do? And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Skye New. I do art. I like to sing. I can do live 2D. I play guitar. God, what else? I like to cook. I cooked recently. I don't know. I do a lot of random stuff here on this channel. So if you just want to see somebody trying out random things, you've come to a good place. Hello. Oh, a member stream. I'm honored for you to choose me for a raid from a member stream. Thank you so much. Skye rigged the Schmidt once. Yeah, with Cherry. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. A Benny raid. Nani? Love your art. Thank you. Thank you so much, Poco. I give you small smooch. Mwah. Thank you. Yes, the flesh tuber. The beloved flesh tuber. Wait. I'll go back to the little lesson thing, right? So if you have only one color you have in mind that you want to use in your piece, there are certain ways you can choose other colors to work with it. So complementary is pretty much any color that's like opposite of the one that you have. So red and green are complementary colors. New Hostel, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Memberships. Please do thank him if you've received 1K. Thank you. Oh, yo, you sniped Kiki. Let's go. Kiki got sniped. Let's go. Nice. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so red and green are complementary. Blue and yellow are complementary. So on and so forth, right? So basically anything directly across from it. Let me see. Aside from that, wait, how do I have this set? Oh wait, hang on. Let me lower this because I also get a little irritated by the alerts sometimes. We need to have a stream where we make new ones. Like, oh wait, no, I made new ones. I just haven't been able to properly put them in. I'm a forehead. Okay, so analogous, and yes, it's basically colors next to it. So again, green is next to, well, yellow, green, and teal, blue. Orange, red, and yellow, orange, stuff like that. Usually colors closer to each other have more color harmony, whereas this is a very high contrast type of thing. Yeah. Amogus. The bottom are new to me. Triadic is, well, as the name implies, something that forms like a triangle between the... Okay, that is like a really bad triangle. Oh my god. But you get the point, right? You get the point. Anything that would form a triangle. Split complementary is... I don't even know if I use this that frequently, but you know, you take the opposite color, but then you take the color groups next to it instead, like this. And then tetradic, I've actually never used this at all, but from what I can tell, you pick the colors that form a rectangle. So yeah, there's this one artist I saw who did a really nice pixel art improvement thing. So he made like this like golem that was like, how do you say, like a golem that was just like a singular like darkish color, like brown, I forget. But then like rather than having too many colors compete, he had like one like bright center. And then, like, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. It looks like a really weird colored olive. Let me just remove that. I don't think I'll be able to explain it without having it on screen. But, like, definitely have your focal colors. You can put as many as you want. There are some art styles that work really well with that. And if you love lots of colors, definitely I recommend doing that. There's an artist, I think it's Cute Sexy Robots. Am I allowed to put Cute Sexy Robots art on the screen? Am I allowed to? Cute Sexy Robots. Give me a second. I don't think I'm allowed to put this on the screen. I wouldn't risk it. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it. But some of their pieces are rather colorful. They have a lot of different colors going on. And yet at the same time, it all works. I can't really break it down to you guys if I don't have it on screen and writing it down. So send a link and we'll check it out ourselves. Rather than just how sexy it is, I'm also worried about, copyright and stuff, and I don't have permission from the artists themselves, so yeah. I think in the future I'll probably ask for permission. There's also that illustrator named Dino. I forgot what their full username was. Dino Illust. Yeah, Dino Illust. They have a very recent piece of refrain that is just gorgeous. All of their art is gorgeous. I love how they work with light and shadow and colors. God, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking. I really like it when they have pieces with backgrounds because they do have very good grasp on shadow groupings and stuff. Dino Den. Oh yeah, Dino Den, yeah. Let me see who else. Relia is another artist that actually, now that I'm looking at it again, there aren't that many colors. Who am I thinking of? There's this one artist with like a similar painterly style that has a lot of colors. God, I can't remember. Well, if I find it, I'll show it to you guys. Let me see. Jim Lee. Let me go check. I don't think this is the... I don't think I'm searching it right. Hyde's right. Oh yeah, Hyde is really great. Hyde. Their work is also really good too. Where is it? Kiss me. Kiss me. Kiss me. I can't find them. Wait, where are they? There's a lot of people named Hyde on Twitter. Hyde Tabacco. Yeah. Yeah. Looking at Hyde's art, he uses a lot of warm colors. A lot of his pieces are very warm and cozy looking and very delicate and detailed line work. I guess also grouping things by temperature also helps a lot. And overlaying colors with, like, say, here, let me show you an example. Like, let's say I put let's put like a soft light overlay color. I'm using overlay layer on Mordekaiser. Like, this isn't the intended effect, but like, if you add like a certain layer of color over everything and bring it closer to one group, it can also add different kinds of harmony. I mean, the piece already here, the base piece didn't need that, but I'm just kind of doing this for illustrative purposes. Yeah. Mokoko with low taper fade. Eh? Nani? Let me see. What else? I really wish that I got permission, man, because like there's a lot of art that I just want to talk about. Like, I wanted to do Rosuri's art because honestly Rosuri was one of my big inspirations as to why I got into art. I got to meet her once. She's cute. She's cute. And I think I got a print from her, but unfortunately I didn't get to keep it. Yeah. Let me see. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Right. Magic the Gathering art minus AI, just in case somebody tried to do a generative fill of it. There's this one artist who I've followed for a while, and I really like his work because he incorporates his late mother, bless her soul, into some pieces that he's made. And I really like his art style. It's really nice. Was it Magic the Gathering? Pretty sure it was. Magic the Gathering pirate lady. It was this pirate lady, right? She's like a jolly old woman. Where is she? There's one artist streamer I want to recommend, but I'm not sure this is the best place to do it. I give you permission to mention their name. I would like to hear about it. Yeah. Pirate lady captain. What's her name? It's not Lanny Storm. There's this really beautiful art that he made recently. What was it? Was it with... I know he worked with Wizards of the Coast. Where is it? Where is she? Let me search old lady pirate. Where is she? Damn. Can't find her. Beckett Brass. Admiral Beckett Brass. Let me check. Admiral Beckett Brass. Yeah, that's her! Yeah, it's this one! Yeah. I love this one. Okay, this was... Oh, I'm gonna tear up a little bit. This was his not really commemorative, but like after she had passed away, his mom. This is like the piece he made afterwards. It's really it's colorful and it's pretty, and it just works. Damn, I can't open it over here on his portfolio website. Let me bring it in. Give me a second. Here, this one. I don't think this is like the entirety of it, but it's pretty colorful, right? Like you got warm tones up here, flecks of darker, cooler tones over here, accents of blue, accents of gold, accents of orange, and yet at the same time everything just works so well together. I really like his work. He's done... God, what are his other pieces? Give me a minute. Jason Rainville. Yeah, that's the name of the artist. Cards. God, he has amazing work. Oh wait, I found the full image. It's even cooler. It's even cooler, guys. Hang on, give me a minute. Can I screenshot it? I'm sorry, sir. I am here to share your wonderful work with the rest of the world. Then again, you already have a huge audience, but like I'm gonna share it with mine. Okay, this, leading her weary crew and all that. Look, just there's a lot going on, and you can see that like the groupings of warm colors versus cool colors is done so excellently well, and while everything is very easily identifiable, our main subjects still stand out so well. And there are like very minimal things in the foreground, but it is a lot of like light and background framing that help focus on our main subject. Yeah. Generals of Kings would get done. Oh, that looks Amazon. Really? So the artist I mentioned before is called Erika Zmi. Let me copy paste that. Let me go check out their work. I also wanted to like identify Mr. Rainville's like color choices in the background here. So let's do a little quick breakdown. So like you can even see here, there's like cooler, almost like blue-gray colors here right next to some browns. Actually, this is like green. This is color green. Hang on, let me go grab these for you guys. Where is it? Now, please note I am definitely no expert. I am no expert in art. Like I may have been doing this, or rather, I am not the best pro out there. I'm very far from it, and also I'm in a very different specialization, which is anime art. But I think that all fundamentals across any art style should still stand, and it's important to understand them and apply them to your work, and you know, elevate that you know, process, your skills and stuff. Okay, so for the dark shadow we've got over here, so it's green, and then for the main like rocky mid-tone we've got over here. Now, as to why there are flecks of... hang on, why there are flecks of like blue-green over here? In my mind, that's because there is a lot of blue in the background, such as water. It's water and steam, right? Hang on, let's use red over here. Water. We also have the sky, which is also probably very bright, since we can infer that from the brightness of the lit areas of the characters, right? So I'm presuming that these rocks are probably wet and they're probably reflective and, you know, taking in some of that cooler tones from those areas. And then just in general, there's just a big dark blue shadow cast over all of these background characters because they're not standing within the light on an elevated platform to catch it from around here, right? So that also gives us a great way to frame and centerpiece our main character. And let's see, what else do we have here? I want to see how blue are these little colors in the background compared to like the ones on the rock here. It's very blue. It's very, very blue. Okay, so I'll put these right next to it. So here's like the lighter blue from the water. And then here's the blue from like the shadows of the rocks over here, like further in the background. And then let's screenshot it here in the there. And then over here. Oh god, oops. Control V, Control T. Oh god, oh god. Here we go. So let's check out like the saturation and contrast of all of this. So for saturation, it varies pretty wildly, I'd say. And I think that's a good thing, taking advantage of a very wide range of colors. Let me see. Though in terms of value, you can see some pretty big grouping differences. For example, okay, so this color, where is it? This color here, this one goes about here, right? So we've got the tonal value of 39, and then over here, this color, which is around here, you've got right next to it the tonal value of 56. That would probably be around like this area around here, maybe. I think. Whereas we have, surprisingly, this thing back here is a lot brighter. So that would be this color, this one. So it's like over here. It's at color 65, so it's brighter than the rock over here. Let me see, but I think that, well, it makes sense that it's brighter because water is more reflective than just wet rock. So it's probably a lot of this like mist coming from the dissipating water from the waterfalls, probably catching a lot of light. As you can see, there's a lot of things to think about also when you're breaking down items. You don't just think about in terms of just hue, saturation, color. You think about, is the object wet? How far is it? Is the object known to be jagged? Is it smooth? Has this rock been like smoothed out by water over time? If it has, what sections of it are smooth? Which ones are not? What is the flow of the water? Is there wind? Is there anything affecting like the movement of any items? If there's wind, how does that affect the characters? If there's wind, what directions would the birds be facing? Or in the case we want to ignore that, we can just make a stylistic choice, have them flying against it, whatever. You can think of so many things in a piece. You can think of so many, and you can choose to incorporate them or ignore them, and like all in the name of making the piece good and how you or your team, if you're working on the team, see fit. Your brain hurt, yeah, that's why it's a lot to take in, which is why I think personally, first-hand experience is one of the best lessons in terms of learning how to draw something. or like witnessing something, like going on site, taking photos, and having realistic references are best. Even if you're drawing the cartooniest thing in the world, Mickey Mouse or something, it helps to have an understanding of, like, you know, of the original concept, basically. So you know how to what is it? Exaggerate it. Yeah. Visual learning. BRB becoming a pirate. Of course, there are some things that we won't ever be able to really, you know, experience, right? Dragons, for example. We don't have real dragons, but what we can experience is the size and pressure that a large building or sculpture can give us. We can take that feeling and incorporate it with, like, the head and body of a lizard. Our knowledge of how fire works in accordance to light and how it affects the things around it, and, you know, like the wings of a bat, and taking all of these different elements and using our imagination to literally slam them together in a way that works, you know. That's another very crucial thing, imagination. And there's a degree of reality and there's a degree of non-reality in all of this. So again, learning fundamentals and then twisting them once you've gotten comfortable with them is, I think, the way to go, personally. What do you mean you don't have dragons where you live? I do have one. His name is Tucci, but he's sick right now. He's not very big. He's not very big dragon. The texture of a lizard. Are games a good source? Yes. Also, don't dismiss stylistic games or art because they have their own lessons. Now, let's take, for example, hell, Pop Team Epic. I'm gonna grab Pop Team Epic. Okay. Let me see. Sure, let's take... let me see here. Let me see, what are some good drawings? Sure, let's get this one where they have a lot of outfits in it. Hello? Hello? Damn. Why the internet gotta make this so difficult nowadays? Okay, copy. And then let's paste this over here. Now, to do stylistic stuff like this and have it look good consistently does take a lot of knowledge in terms of, like, anatomy and how, like, things work, like, and, like, how far you can take them, and also, like, how appealing shapes can be, stuff like that. Like, look over here, we've got clothing folds. How do they know that the clothes fold this way? Because there is a tension point over here at the knee, and then there's fabric folding like this, and therefore it droops onto the ground and then causes a little bit of like a pooling of the fabric, right? So it's not just, oh, put it there just cause. This is an informed choice, right? And then also knowledge of clothing structure. Also, like, here you have, like, tension points, knowledge of anatomy, like where exactly would the hand go if it were folding against the arm, right? Where does the hand disappear into? This one, or like the choices of, like, okay, our characters don't have full human anatomy, like the same proportions. How far can we push it to make it look believable and consistent, right? Man, watching an episode of PTE is a studying art in itself. Yeah, one thing with more realistic media, especially games, that technology progresses, the faults show a lot faster. Yes, that is true. Because in the pursuit of reaching realism, you can fall into the pitfall of the uncanny valley, because, you know, our brains are wired to recognize what's real, right? Whereas things that don't look as real are, you know, still visually appealing. And then the closer we get to reality, the more likely we're to notice, like, mistakes and things that don't exactly line up. So that's why also knowing when to stylize is very important. Like Mr. Rainville, is that right? Sorry, let me double check. Yes, Mr. Rainville's work. The stylization of rocks doesn't necessarily look like this. However, he has captured the textures very well. And if you look really closely, you can see like I feel like he's using certain types of brushes, because I know that a lot of like artists this is not concept art, this is splash art, right? Basically use either their trusty hard round and soft round brush or a lot of textured brushes. And you can see even here, like these look like you know, the motion of like, I don't have the right settings for it, but like you can tell the brush, you can see the brush strokes, right? And like the fading of the opacity. Like this isn't exactly what water looks like, but like to simplify it, to make it less hard on our human brains, because the human brain is dumb. Actually, it's a little silly. It will and can register these blobs and shapes that aren't the actual thing as something that looks like it. So if you can make something that looks like it, by understanding the subject well enough, you can make it look good without making it look uncanny. Basically, yeah, just a little silly Billy. It's smart but dumb. Yeah, unfortunately, the human brain really is like that. But yeah, stuff like this requires a lot of knowledge on, well, just as much knowledge you need to make this. Now, yes, you won't have such extravagant and high contrast like you know, visuals like this, but you do need to know enough to make the right choices for these, you know? Like, why would you bother putting a shadow here? Oh, it's because I need to suggest there's 3D shape and form to this object. Because if it were all the same, it wouldn't look right. Stuff like that, right? As someone with the human brain, I can't confirm it's and also, like, it's really hard to see, but there's like a bit of 3D shape on the boot too. You can see the bottom of the shoe. They could have just done it like just regularly like that, but no, they went the whole shebang and gave her even like a heel dip. I know that's not exactly the right kind of drawing, but like that's effort. That's effort. So just as much knowledge, just applied differently, and maybe a little bit specialized a little bit differently. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I've covered a lot. I feel like we've covered a lot today. Let me see. Do we have any other questions around here? I think I also forgot to order water today. Oops. I wonder if I can still do that. Let me see. Do we have any other questions in the Q&A? Let me go check. Hang on. My stream on my setting is still stuck. Okay. So this is the process you use when creating your own art from your mind with no reference. Yeah. What I do basically is I try to recall what I have learned, and as you can see, it is a giant intertwined tangle mess of knowledge and memories. So sometimes things do end up kind of wrong, which is why it doesn't hurt to bring up a reference to jog that memory and also maybe learn something new in the process. So I do go very intuitively and off of feeling and like what I think is right and what I remember is right. So yeah, that's my general process. What's the next one? Have you ever done 5-point perspective or fisheye perspective? I'm scared. I'm scared. I've gone to 3-point. I've gone up to 3-point perspective. I don't remember if I've done 4, but 5-point, I'm scared. But it does look like fun. I feel like I could practice it sometime, but I haven't done it yet. It is something I'm interested in though, especially after watching Pat Labor. The Pat Labor movies utilized fisheye quite a bit and very up-close references of actors, I presume, to make very up-close frames. So that's something I'm very interested in trying someday. Yeah, Skye fucks around and finds out. Yep. Yep. Let me see. Next, where do you find motivation and inspiration for your art? Oh boy. Let me see. I guess this is story time at this point. Do you think Rasuri would be mad if I brought her art on my stream and told everybody, you know, why I started drawing? Let me see. Robots? No. No. Those are different kinds of motivators. So like I think maybe I could, that would be flattering. It's your stream, Skye, so why not copyright? Copyright. Maybe okay. Here, let me, I wonder if I can find her old work, because it's mostly her recent work that I'm seeing. There's a very distinct image that has stuck with me for years. Hang on. Where's the color for it? Is this it? Not exactly. Give me a minute. I have to look for it. Would it be in color green? No, color teal. Damn, I can't find it. Where is it? Where's her DeviantArt? Where's her DeviantArt? I'm pretty sure it's still up there. Ah, I found it. I found it. Okay, so as you all know, I used to be on DeviantArt as a kid, and you know, I started my art journey by just posting fan art and stuff, meeting other artists who, you know, are fans of things that I am. But I draw a lot of original stuff, actually. I draw a lot of original stuff just because I like drawing. Drawing has always been my thing ever since I was a kid, but I never really took it that seriously. Until, you know, I started drawing more and more. It was more of my pastime. My original host dad would give me, you know, some like pointers, and because he liked to draw too. He never really pursued it, but he was a really great artist. And then I started looking at other artists to like learn from and help myself improve. And one thing that really stuck with me was this piece from Missouri. This one. This is a piece that she did a commission for somebody named Lovette, I think. And looking at this, I was like, wow, that's really cool, from somebody that I've been watching for like quite a long time. And like this was her foray into something more like a more integrated piece. Like, you know, the hair fading into the background of the water texture up top, the details of the bubbles. Like I was basically enamored. I was basically enamored by this piece, and I was like, damn, I want to be like that. And so I set off on a more serious art journey in like my mid-teens-ish. And if you want to know what Missouri's art looks like now, give me a minute. Her art's still very beautiful. It's definitely a lot more detailed now. Let me see. How far back can I go? How far back can I go? Let me see. Her style is more defined now. It's aged like fine wine. Here, I'll show you why. Now, this is her, well, both are her OC and her VTuber avatar. Now, look at the definition of the line work and look at how much more like clean and pronounced it is. You know, it still has very great cohesiveness, right? The liner has become bolder. The shapes have become like more defined. The shadows are, I'd say, less wishy-washy. I do think it's a bit of a stylistic choice to have a bit slightly harder shadows. Like they're not completely hard, as you can see. There's like a little bit of a band over here, right? Right? Beautiful, right? And more attention to detail in, like, say, the eyes and hair, a bit of layering on the hair, more distinct. Well, I think it's not fair to compare the hairstyles at the moment because this is twin tails versus, you know, hair down, right? More structural knowledge on fabrics. Again, not very fair because, you know, she's naked, but hang on. Let me look for some of her other old art here then in that case. Let me see. Chotto, a minute kudasai. Rosary Deviant art. Deviant art. I hope this is okay. Some artists don't like their deviant. I mean, these are all still public and all. She's always been a fantastic artist, but I know she's worked very hard to get here. And since I've been following her for so long, I have basically been following her ever since and seeing her improvement. So it's really cool to see that. Okay, let's go back a little bit. These are kind of old. Oh, Mystic Messenger! You got my messages. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see. What's a good comparison piece? Hang on. I'm looking. Kore kana? Let me see. Perhaps. We might lose out on a bit of context here, but I'll give it to you guys verbally. So this is a commission piece that she made. Was it a commission? Yeah, of Rico for Kawaii Nihongo app. It was an app that she was commissioned to do art for Japanese learning. And let me see. Isn't the first piece slightly blurry to imply underwater though? Yes, but at the same time, how do you say? Like, you can kind of see here the colors versus the line art isn't as well integrated. Though I guess again this is like subjective, huh? I'm not necessarily saying that this is bad. Remember, I'm still madly in love with this piece all these years. But like there's like a sort of confidence now looking at her more recent work. I'm not sure if I can put it into words exactly, but I hope I'm making sense, you know? And then another thing to note, a lot of her old pieces were very, very high contrast and were very vibrantly yellow, I noticed. A lot of yellow lighting, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And I guess these are remnants of her old style. I noticed that she doesn't have that as much nowadays, but I get like this is still really great work, right? But I can't help but feel like there's a sort of confidence now that she has from so many years of drawing that shows in her current work. Yeah. Oh, hey, yeah, she has some bubbles here too. That's pretty neat. There is some water here in the background, I just realized. I don't know how much of this is a reflection, or like what the full piece is meant to be exactly, but yeah. So art idols like Rosuri are definitely people I looked up to and wanted to be like. And then, you know, I set off on my own like commission art journey, right? Why did I start and why did I continue drawing? Honestly, it may not sound as noble, but I did continue drawing because it was a form of income that I was confident in doing. And it was also something that I was confident in doing because for a long time, I felt like art was the only thing that I had. I wasn't good at sports. I was smart, but people didn't really care if you were smart. Like, sure, the teachers cared, but like people around you didn't really care. And in our culture here, you'd kind of be shunned for being smart. And then, like, it's something I got praised for. And I felt like, well, if I'm good at this, I think I want to get better. Because I can definitely get better. I want to be like the people I look up to. I don't see anything wrong with that, I guess. And I think I realized that for some goddamn reason, no matter what, art is always something I come back to. Regardless of what time, what age, where I am, who I'm with. Art is something that I've always admired, appreciated, and loved to see, loved to experience. And I think that being able to create is another great process that I'm proud and happy to be able to do. Despite all of the like struggles and turmoil it gave me emotionally, like feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling like I'll never be able to reach the point that these people are at, stuff like that. Like environmental and like situational elements that prevent me from being able to draw more. Yeah, I guess that is passion. I guess it's something just very buried deeply within me. And I don't know if it's because people praise me for it or it's just because solely that I enjoy it as the being that I am. But yeah, no matter what, I love art and I love making art and I love seeing art. Whether it's visual, musical, stuff like that. And I don't know, it's amazing to me that people can do something like this. And I can see why people say it looks like magic to just slap some paint, slap some pixels on a canvas, and suddenly you have a dark lord, you know, someone from the ancient times who wreaks havoc on humanity and brings death, and you know, and like creating these otherworldly places. That's insane. And the fact that we're humans are able to do that is insane, and I want to be able to do that too. So, I don't know. I guess it just boils down to passion then, I guess. Let me see. What's a good place to find art? Nowadays, that's tough. Nowadays, that's tough. If you want, you know, art made by, you know, by hand with brushstrokes, or, you know, mouses and whatnot, like each little individual piece building up to make an art piece. Because technically, you could quote unquote say AI art is made by a person, right? I personally still don't believe in that, but you know, I guess non-AI art, I'll just say, if you want to find non-AI art on the internet, a lot of things now, a lot of image searches are filled with it, so it's kind of hard. But there are artists out there, you know, they're still there. Just keep a watchful eye. If it is something important to you, it's important to me. But if it's not that important to you, then you do you, I guess. But like, look at artists on DeviantArt, on ArtStation. Look up people who work for studios. Check out like art team, you know, credits after you finish a game, after you finish a movie. Like, who did the set design for this? The set design for this, like, theater production's amazing. Who's the team? Blah, blah, blah. Look at art books. Look for art books. Read into, like, art history, I guess, you know. Let me see. What's the cheapest yet best tablet and pen for drawing? Any you liked? The Huion Canvas HS64, the HS something. It's a very, very small tablet, only about like 6-7 inches big, and you can connect it to both your computer and your phone, because it has a USB-C port and also USB to USB converter. Tama ba? But like it's small, but it's super portable. It does the job. I used it for years and I really liked it, but it's not good for your wrist, so there's that. Could someone with no art experience make something decent in MS Paint with mouse and keyboard? Yeah, definitely. All it really takes is, you know, dedication and practice. I have shown you guys that you can break down art into core elements, and what you need to do is practice those core elements and, you know, just work up from there. It will take time. It took me many years to be able to draw the stuff that I put out in my music videos, and it took many years for like these people who made these, you know, I'm presuming they're not that young. Yes, we have many amazing young artists who are coming out into the fray now, but that's because they have more access to learning materials and more free time to learn because they're young. They don't have to worry about jobs. They have school to worry about, yes, but there's still more free time and leeway than compared to having a job, feeding yourself, taking care of chores, blah, 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 right? So don't blame yourself if you feel like you're not improving. But if you stick to it and you're mindful of what you're doing and mindful of what you're learning and what you're feeling towards you and your art and other art, then you will surely, I promise you, you will improve. Okay? Thank you for the stream. It was very informative and enjoyed a lot. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm really glad. And you know, it feels nice to be able to talk about this. I like talking about art. I would like to be able to do stuff like this in the future. But you know, with proper permission next time. Let me see. And actually, you know, it'd be really cool. I would love to interview like concept artists, splash art artists, designer artists, object artists, environmental artists, and like pick apart their brains. I want to pick apart their brains and like, you know, everybody, like if they're willing to share, of course, because let's face it, there is gatekeeping, especially in like, you know, the higher art communities. It can be a bit elitist at times. It's kind of the same for art everywhere. Like music, classical musicians tend to be known to be gatekeepy, but then there are people in the communities who want things to be more accessible to the people and like share that same joy and enjoyment with everybody. So interviews about art would be really cool. I'd really like that. I'd really like that. And not just limited to these people, but also like popular artists too. You know, people who started very indie, stayed very indie, but got a massive following. That would be great. Let me see. I think there was one other question in the Q&A thing, right? Choy matine. Where is it? Let me see. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I think with that water. Oh my god. There we go. Oh, by the way, also, draw for fun. If you're not gonna do this seriously, honestly, you don't have to think about it that hard. Like, legit. You can just draw for fun. And like, if you don't want to worry about going professional and all that and like making it crazy good, have fun, please. I honestly, turning your hobby and or like, you know, something you enjoy into something serious, into like a profession, is the fastest way to kill your love for it. I will admit, for many, like during my time making art, I also hated it. They don't call artists masochists for no reasons, but then, you know, that's why you can't spell paint without pain, you know? So yeah, it's a fine line. It's a very delicate dance. So if you, I highly recommend having fun, because if you realize you have fun, then maybe that can be your motivator also. The first-hand experience, yeah. What's the next question? What's something fundamental, quote-unquote, that you wish you had learned much earlier in your art career or put off because it didn't seem important? I do wish... when starting out, huh? I wish I had been more mindful in the beginning of the way I was learning. Because for a big chunk of the time I spent on DeviantArt, I did, like, how do you say? I stagnated a lot because I kept myself in one little bubble. And this is just for me, okay? This doesn't apply to literally everybody. You could be fine working within your circle. But I do think that having a wide array of sources, references, artists you look up to, having as much in your knowledge library as possible is always a good thing, and don't limit yourself. It definitely helps if you have an interest in like something, like for example, I like cute pink pastel things. That's all I drew back then, and like it's because I liked that, right? I wish I opened up to more things sooner. Maybe it's also because I grew as a person and changed, and like my interests expanded. Yeah, like I definitely did not have a grasp on everything. To this day, I still don't think I have a good grasp on everything. Like, I'm trying to be as honest as I can with you in this lessons, but like sometimes I feel like I'm bullshitting myself. But like, well, I do think I practice a lot with anatomy. I struggle a lot with colors and integrating them with light and making everything harmonious. That's something I still struggle with a lot, especially because I didn't practice backgrounds a lot. So that's definitely something I wish I studied sooner, because now I realize that that's the kind of work I want to do. Like, I want to put characters in a world. That's what I want to do, you know? How do you know when you're improving? I'm just not talking about just end result. Guys suggested to keep practicing basic shapes, both 2D and 3D, and slay anatomy. So how does one tell the story when they're doing shapes better? When you notice that you're starting to apply the fundamentals to your sketches and your anatomy work and stuff, because it is true that you can break down basic body shapes into basic like shapes, right? So like, you know how the perspective of like this, right? Like, I can now do this without making like a focal point, and you can tell that this is kind of like, well, it's not exactly perfectly in line, but you can tell like this is like a bottom perspective thing, right? It's like kind of basically, right? And then like you could use this for the whatchamacallit. Also, I think it's a matter of how comfortable you are, how comfortable you get with it. Like you feel confident. I think confidence is one of the greatest signs of improvement. Like, you're not worried about whether this is right. You know whether it's right or not. Like, you hear me mumbling when I'm drawing, right? Like, no, the perspective of this doesn't look right. I think I'm gonna change it to this, to that. You make informed choices by practicing all of these exercises and like muscle memory. Like, you internalize them, and it comes out as confident, informed choices that you can make to make your art look better. I think that's probably one of the best ways to know you've improved. Personally. Yeah, not just end result. I used to make everything into very basic shapes when I did 3D modeling. And like, you can definitely build up off of that, right? And I can't perspective. I can't anatomy, lighting, coloring, composition, proportion either. It's definitely overwhelming to think about everything at once. So if you're going to start with one thing. Start on either perspective, basic shapes, just do basic shapes. Or if you want to start on just anatomy, ignore perspective, think about proportions and ratio and getting the form right and how muscles work. Anatomy is very complicated, by the way. There's a lot of subgroups to learn underneath all of that. So I highly recommend doing one thing at a time. If you're going to do lighting, look at imagery, break down like the different colors. Ignore perspective, just look at colors, look at values. Turn pictures black and white, study the relationship between light and dark in that image. So, just focus on one thing, ignore the rest. And once you've built up confidence in that, you can go to the next thing. Or if you get bored, go to the next thing. So yeah. Hi. So those are some things you can do. There were other questions. Give me a second. Where are we? Have you ever thought of breaking every art rule just to see what comes from it? IDK sounds like a fun thing to try. Oh, definitely. That's gonna be fun. That is going to be fun. It's like being a little rebel. And sometimes, breaking the art rules and discovering something cool is one of the best parts, I think. Are there any techniques that I learned that I really liked after breaking an art rule? Probably nothing that hasn't already been discovered, but like, doing something different also in general from what you normally do or what people normally do is always fun. And, that leads to change and growth. And like, hey, maybe somebody might catch on to what you're doing and they like what you're doing too. And it might lead to another, like, I don't know, technique or something. Or maybe it might be something you might be known for. So, yeah. I can't say that I've done it a lot recently, but it does sound like fun. It does sound like fun. Okay, what's the next question? Going back to something you mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, lighting on skin isn't usually that shiny, but I noticed a trend in anime where certain body parts are always drawn shiny. Why? So for an anime, let's draw Let's draw basic. Let's draw an anime girl figure, yeah? Okay, so it's going to be super crude. Don't mind me. Okay, like this, right? Okay. Wait. Wait. Hang on, we got the knee. And then the foot. Okay, super crude drawing, right? Okay, so we've got... Don't mind that. We're just going to identify very popular highlight spots, right? As for why, I'm not entirely sure. I will be honest with you. Hang on, give me a sec. Let's fill this in. Okay. So, popular highlight points, especially on an anime girl. Cheeks. Cheekbones. These are stylized cheekbones because cheekbones are actually a lot closer to the eye. Okay, so like, let's say we have the eye here, right? Cheekbones are normally like this. They're like a V shape across. But usually, they'll be stylized like going alongside the blush. So like the cheek as a whole. So they would put like the highlights here. And then on the nose, because the nose is a very high point on the face, right? These are high points on the face. Actually, let me copy paste this so we can do like a little bit of a comparison between realistic highlight points versus anime girl highlight points, I guess. Okay, so start with the anime girl, right? So we have here highlight on the cheeks like this, usually highlight like little dots. Then you have boob highlight because, let's face it, boobs are also a very high point on the body. They tend to be quite elevated, especially the bigger they get. Shoulders are another popular point for highlights because usually most lighting comes from above, right? And often shoulders catch that light. Aside from that, thighs, right? Thighs tend to be quite shiny. Now, what do you notice about these points that we've highlighted in general? What is something in common that these all have? Tell me, what are some important, details that all of these things have in common? Tell me. I'm pretty sure you can identify it. Like, I just had this epiphany literally right now. They are thirst emoji. Yes, they are points of interest, right? And I think that's one theory as to why these are particularly popular points. They're both thick, and yes, they're also curves. That's another thing. Physically closer to the camera than the surrounding points. Okay, there is both a subjective reason and an objective reason here. One being, right, the objective reason being it's physically closer to the camera and light sources. And the other reason being they're fucking hot, right? Okay, and you want to draw attention to that, right? So having highlights and shadows and details draw attention there. Right? So it makes sense as to why they highlight these points. Who doesn't like shiny things? I personally hate, when they do this. Like, they have... Hang on. They have the blush, and then they put the shadow on top. I don't like that. That's hentai shading, and not the nice kind. But that's like a personal preference. If you like that, that's fine. I don't like it. Somebody oil greased up? Yeah. Yeah. Skye, are you an artist? I am a drawer. I am a drawer. Don't you worry. Thank you for asking though, Rokumuro. Thank you. Now, as for realistic highlights, the thing is with thighs aren't actually that shiny. They don't actually have that highlights that bright. Most highlights are usually cheekbones like this, right? You have your nose highlight like this. And then with the way the skull is shaped, you have highlights that go, there's actually corners on the front of your head. So there's highlights around, they tend to dip, but you can get highlights either here or like here. It tends to like rotate around the top of the head. Let me get you a picture. Let's get like a male head study or male head image. Yeah. Minus AI, just in case, so we don't have some random AI generated man. Let me see. That's ZBrush. Can I get a normal picture of a dude? that isn't the profile of his face. Pixels. Pixabay. Give me a minute. Hang on. Okay, this looks like a very nondescript man. From Damir Kabirov, thank you. Oh wait, this is iStock photo. I can't use this. This ain't Pixabay anymore. Ugh. Okay, let me see. Maybe Mr. Man. Why is it all iStock? Leave me alone. Leave me alone, iStock. Oh my god. Man. I would like to use a bald man for this purpose. Here we go. We got a very happy bald man over here. Okay, Mr. Happy Bald Man. This photo is by Pexels. So from the site themselves. Okay. So let's clear out the rest of this. Oops. How do I? Okay, cool. So you know that the human shape is not fully round, right? So it's not a sphere. It's something more like this, right? And then you have it's a rounded thing. It's a rounded thing at the very least. So it's something like this. You may notice here there's a highlight around here, right? And then you may notice that there's a bit of like curvature going here, like this. But then you may notice that there's also like a slightly different area, like this line right here. There's a bit of curvature in the skull that kind of like dips around there. So it's kind of like this, like that, and then it kind of evens out at the back. So it's kind of like the diagonal point of the head, if you will. Okay. So oftentimes you may find highlights around like here or here, depending on the angle. Like as you can see, it's like very much focused here. The lighting is probably coming to the viewer like this. Because you can also see the highlights going across his cheek here. There are some highlights along the eyelid over there. The nose highlight is off center, so it's definitely not coming from the front, it's coming from the side. I'm not exactly sure how this little highlight is working next to his nose. So yeah, for human highlights, they tend to be kind of like that. Depends on how oily your face is and like if you have wrinkles and stuff. For the rest of the body, honestly, like I'm looking at my body right now, I don't think I have highlights anywhere. Like, cause the rest of the human body can be pretty matte, but it does depend on your lighting. I have some pretty strong lighting here in my room right now, so I'm pretty sure my face is like brightly lit. Yeah. Okay, so most of the time highlights don't really appear unless you're either oiled up or you've gone swimming, you're in the shower, etc. So yeah, I've been practicing the Loomis method because I noticed I couldn't keep proportions well. The Loomis method, I'm not really familiar with that one. Oh no, my shiny immersion. Just remember the friendly bald man. This is real immersion. This is real shine. Okay. Anyway, what was the other questions that we had here? Okay, we only have 2 more questions. Not sure if it's still on topic, but can you share what the do's and don't when commissioning artists? Okay, yes. I'm happy to answer this question. Commissioning artists is a scary process. As a client, I can understand why doling out a big amount of cash and waiting for something can be very scary, especially since art takes quite a while. Okay, I know like you guys saw me drawing on stream, right? Not every artist works that fast. And also like my piece wasn't finished, so that's why it only it wasn't like a fully rendered piece. That's why it only took about 10 hours. But it is normal for some artists to take a month or more on a piece. It really depends on how much you ask of them, and how busy they are in their own lives, because not everybody has like, say, art as just their main career. Do's and don'ts of commissioning an artist. Okay, first, let me see. let's get rid of all of this. Okay, let's get rid of all of this now. Okay, do, if they have it, read, wait, sorry, coming artists, do read their TOS and prices. Most established commission artists already have this. They have it listed somewhere on their website. And reading this will save you and them questions that would kind of just waste both of your time if you end up not commissioning them anyway. So, for example, some people will have estimated turnover times. Okay, let me write turnover. Scope. Scope refers to things like how many revisions, can you ask for, what they will and won't draw. Aside from that, their expertise, like what they specialize in, stuff like that. Aside from that, commercial rights, or personal use. Any other questions you can think of, most artists normally have that already there. And in terms of prices, if you find out you can't commission them, it is a little bit embarrassing to say that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't think I'll be able to afford your commissions at the moment, but thank you for your time. Like, that's usually what you should say. Like, if you can't afford, just be straightforward. But to save the time of inquiring for both you and them, it's best to check their website or whatever else they have, a document, a Trello, a card, whatever. Read that and make sure that you are decided on this person. And also, this is just a personal thing myself, read about the artists themselves too. Like, what are their habits? Like, are they very frequently online, or are they very hermity and only post when they've finished something? It can also, you can gauge for yourself, like, am I okay with not hearing from my artist at all? Because if you're a first-time client, you won't know how this person communicates with you, unless you've heard like referrals from other people. I, for example, like to be very on top of art and like my commissioners and like updating them, to the point where I'd probably update them every day. Whereas others, they'll update you, say, maybe every few days, or maybe every week, or every other 2 weeks, or maybe every month, or maybe every year, just once or a few times a year. And you need to know if you're okay with that. And like, if you read into the artists, like, you know, if they have an online profile, if you're okay with that, then otherwise go for it, right? Let me see, what else do you guys ask here? What is this related to the topic? Is the concept of pay half in advance and half when done okay thing to do with commissions? This is, in my opinion, this is a right that every commissioner should have, or rather, you know, every artist should offer to their clients, because especially if you are working with this person for the first time, it'll both ensure that the commissioner has paid for some of your work already as the artist, and then as the commissioner, that means the artist has, you know, like, has to work on your piece and finish it in order to get the rest of the payment that they're owed. So I think it's very fair to do either half or like installment plan, depending on the person. Installments can get a little complicated, depends, but generally I think it's a good practice. Yeah. Let's see, aside from that, don't just message hi. This is related to, you know, the whole reading thing. Don't message them with just hi. In general, on the internet, you never know what somebody's gonna say if they just message you hi, right? What you should be doing is state your business. So, for example, in your business, this refers to the commission type. Are you getting like a full body? Are you getting a half body? Are you getting a bust? What it's for? Is it commercial use? Is it personal use? Like, are you just going to, do you plan on printing it? Like, are you, wait, what it's for? If you're going to print it, the artist needs to know that so that they can give you a high enough DPI, which is density of pixels per inch. Basically, it improves the quality of a print. And also, like, what size do you want it at? Or do you want to frame it? Do you want it A4? Do you want it A1, which is huge? These are paper sizes, by the way. Do they need to have it, like, if you tell them it's for printing, they might also prepare a different type of color setting, which is like CMYK, which is for printing. Is it going to be like used in a project or potentially a project, or if they're like I don't know, just a lot of different things. Just be transparent with them. It's best not to lie. What it's for, what else? What's in it? So what's in it? This refers to your characters, setting, like what are your characters doing? What's your character's history? What's the, like, what kind of background do you want? Do you want them in a classroom? Do you want them in a forest? Do you want them swimming at the beach? What are the characters' personalities? Like, scene details, I guess. You can call it scene details. Like, because I think it helps a lot if you describe their personalities so that the artist can pitch pose ideas to you. Oh yeah, poses can also go in what's in it. So like, for example, a shy person reaching out to the viewer might have different posture than an excitable character reaching out to the viewer, for example. Let me see, what else? Aside from that, like, if you have a deadline, what your expectations are. For, like, say, I would appreciate it if you updated me within this time frame, or like, I plan on following up with you and then blah blah blah. And like, any other causes for concern, for example, like, then again, you don't actually have to state anything too personal, because again, this is just a work request. But like, I think if you have any reason to doubt that you'd be able to pay for a commission, I'd say hold off of that until you're really sure that you can. Because you should be only spending within your means, because art is, again, a luxury. It is not a need. Even if you are, if you are a business, if you're unable to spend extra for that art or whatever asset that you need, just work with what you can rather than, overextend, because that's not going to be good for you and your business. Let me see. Other expectations, like, do you want to keep it private? Are you willing to pay like a privacy fee or an NDA fee, like if you don't want people posting it? Like, say, for example, if, I don't know, you're a vtuber, new model design, you need to pay a fee to keep it hush-hush. that sounds bad. You need to pay a fee to keep it private, because when an artist gets to post on their, their social platforms, it's both their portfolio and it's also advertisement for them to show to other people, right? So to compensate for losing out on that, some people have a fee. Or like, if you have a game and you need them to sign an NDA, you're commissioning them to like make a new like environment art for you, something like that. Is there anything else that I might have missed? Yeah, deadline, references. Yeah, just give as many references as you can. If you don't have like a concrete character design, feel free to shove in like picture references, written references. Some people will very much prefer a visual reference, because when working off of images and written prompts, the vision of the artist versus the vision of the commissioner may be different, and there will be back and forth for revisions, right? So that's why some people include a fee for that. Yeah, as much detail as possible, got it. Yeah. Let's see. Aside from that, what's some other don't to do when you're a commissioner? Don't Let me see. What else? What else is another don't? I'm in the camp of everyone is entitled to get an update on what they're working on, right? Let me see. But don't hound them meanly. You know, don't be mean when you hound them. Most of the time, most clients are very nice, but it would be best to avoid being demeaning or anything like that while you're communicating with the artist. I do not. What's the word? And I think that artists have the responsibility to be in the right state of mind and capability to do work, because you are being paid and this is a business. And if you are unable to fulfill your responsibilities for any reason, you have to be transparent about that, and also be willing to either recompensate or work things out with your client. It's no secret, right, that I have gone through much emotional turmoil, but I know that I still had to be responsible enough to tell my clients, like, if I was unable to finish their work for them, like, hello, I'm really sorry, but I cannot complete your request, or I'm unable to fulfill your request, whether that be for either time constraint or project constraint or any other reasons, like be it mental, physical, or like environmental factors. You are responsible for telling that to your client and giving them another, like, how do you say, another, what's the word, alternative to your work, something similar. Don't make demands outside their stated or implied limits because I'll pay you more. Can't you just do it? Technically, some people can do that. Like, if the artist allows it, you know, if it's within their terms, you can do that. But it's not very fun. It's basically paid creep scope creep. I forgot what it's called, but like, yeah, increasing that more and more is not fun, and it can be very stressful for everyone involved. So just be kind and courteous. And also the artist should be kind and courteous too. But like, yeah, if the artist hasn't been able to, if you feel reasonably that they haven't been able to properly fulfill your work, you have every right to, you know, demand a refund, basically, especially if they haven't done anything. I think it's fair that if they have done work, there should be a discussion of how much should be refunded. I remember back then I had like a terms of service, like if I reach, like, say a certain point in coloring, only like 50% of it will be refunded, something like that. But yeah, it can be difficult. Ideally, everyone comes at it from a place of respect. Mission creep, I guess. Let me see. Is there anything else that you should do and not do as a commissioner? If you were going to do something new that was not the original intentions of what you commission artists, please do ask them. Don't break TOS. Ask first. Ask for perms. Like, say you get a design made and you just want it to make as your own little OC, but then you realize, like, hey, I want to make merch out of this character. I think it would be fair to, or like specifically of that art of that character, perhaps. Or if it's the design made by that artist, they also have a say in like how that should be treated. I think you should go back to the person and negotiate with them, like, the fees needed to be paid, or if like they're just willing to give you permission. It really depends. Yeah, communication. Communication. Is there anything else? This is going to be like, whatchamacallit? It's not a very nice note, but if you're unhappy with your commission, feel free to complain about it, but make sure it's in a space that the artist can't hear you. Yeah, definitely do it in a space where the artist can't hear you. Like, let's face it, That's going to be a fact of life. Sometimes some commissions aren't going to turn out the way you wanted, or perhaps maybe the artist didn't live up to your expectations, but you don't want to bother with hounding them for changes or a refund. It's not nice, but you know, just make sure that they don't hear it, please. And also, it won't really reflect well if you have other people in the field in the room with you. But yeah, just be mindful, please. Just be mindful. That's all I ask. What if someone pays for a commission with a specific purpose, but even after all that paid and done, it ends up never being used for its intended purpose? If it ends up never being used, like not used at all, then that's okay. You know, you already paid for it, and like the artist did their work. As long as they got compensated, they shouldn't really have a problem. Like, sure, it might be feels bad, but not much you can do about it. You got paid for your work, and that's it. You know? Well, that's my view on it. Like, definitely, it will be sad. Like, oh, I got commissioned to make like sprites for a game, but then they never used it. I'm kind of sad about that. But like, hey, I got paid. So it's like getting a bad haircut. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just you know, you can air your complaints. Just be respectful about it. You know, yeah, because these people, you know, even though you did pay them, they still put, you know, effort and time into making something for you. But like, I can totally understand critiques. That's totally normal. Yeah. Let me see. What else? Anything else you guys want to ask questions about before I move on to any other tips and tricks? Because we have one last question here. If not, then I shall move on. What do you guys think? Let me skip ahead. How are we looking here, chat? Damn, did chat freeze? I don't know. We can move on. Chief. Okay, so for our last question, we've got, is it an absolute necessary to do the shapes exercise? Because there's a part in me that just wants to go in and jump and start practicing art already, because I feel like I'll learn more doing so. Then just jump in and do it. It's not necessary. I may have been laying out fundamentals, but at the same time, you're also free to ignore them. Because, well, again, art is not super rigid. It's not a science. There are elements to it that are a bit sciencey, but more than anything, it's very free-flowing. You can do whatever the hell you want and start whatever the hell you want to. Like, I could give you a cheat sheet and like you could freely like use it if you wanted to, but like it's not hard set rules. It's just like a how do you say, like a springboard for you to start on your basic. Oh, sorry, not on the basics, but like, think about this. You want to decorate a cake, but you don't necessarily want to start with baking the cake part because that's kind of tedious. Go ahead and buy a cake, scrape off the icing, and then like shave it into the shape you want, decorate that. I use templates for mixing my like I had a template for mixing my audio, and then like I tweaked it, like I learned and like toyed around with the stuff that was presented to me, and then like I eventually found something that I liked. It's not necessarily bad to start from another, like a slightly more advanced point. It's not necessarily bad because once you start learning more and more, you can take it apart and understand why like why these fundamentals work the way they do. It's just that you start from a different point. It's not necessarily bad. The way you learn and the way your work will turn out will be different, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because you're learning. And you can always go back. Experts always go back to the fundamentals and brush up on them. So absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, let me see. I heard of a rule called the 50-50. 50 working on getting better and 50 just drawing to enjoy. Yeah, I do think that's good. I don't follow the 50-50 rule, but like it's up to you guys how you want to learn. Because, like, I can give you all of these things, but you could just take something else entirely different, and that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, feel free to do whatever the hell you want, man. Let me see. Any other questions here? I got a bit discouraged taking an hour or two just to create 5 squares, but then I realized I am making at minimum 32 strokes. Most likely double that for 1 square. I am learning freely rotate a box. Yeah! And like, you know, again, with all of these exercises that you're doing, they're gonna keep building up into bigger things. So it also makes sense that you're taking time. I did say that, like, with practice comes confidence, right? And with confidence comes speed. So think of it as training your muscles to get stronger. You're training your muscle memory to get faster and more confident. So don't be too hard on yourself. I have my own 50-50. I have no idea what I'm doing, and the other 50, I don't even do anything at all. Lamau. Let me see. Anything else here? Bro, I got completely buzz-cutted when I asked my hair to be a little shorter. I walked out, said thanks, and never went back there. Yeah. It do be like that. Oh man, I'm sorry that happened to you though. Oh man, gains. Yeah. Going to the gym just for the art gains. Yeah. Actually, another thing, if you're doing art, actually exercising your back and your arms is very important because of the shrimping and the drawing. So a lot of artists have back pain because their backs are not trained enough. So you do have to exercise a little bit. I have not been exercising, but I should do that. Yeah. Voting with your wallet is the way. What the heck? Anything else I want to talk about? I feel like we've covered a lot of bases already. So, I hear so many mangaka with back problems. Yeah, it'll be like that when you're working like consistently, like 4 to 6 hours on a piece and only taking breaks to go to the bathroom and or eat. Like, goddamn, son, my arms are noodle when I'm done drawing. Extreme arting, but not for the weak. Not for the weak, yeah. Oh man. Okay, let's see. So to review, today we talked about terms that are often used both in digital and traditional art, such as hue, saturation, and value, also known as luminosity, brightness, yada yada. We learned about shadows, cast shadows, form shadows, color relativity. We covered a lot, didn't we? Composition to a degree, being able to identify and break down all these different elements within somebody else's art, and let's see, how to commission an artist, and a few things about me, I guess. So, posture and hydration check. I think I ran out of water, but I have fixed my back, thank you. Oh snap. One great way to learn, by the way, find an art community and ask for feedback. Or even if it's like breaking down somebody else's work, say you want to break down Mr. Rainville's art and you need help identifying things, going back and forth with other artists who have more knowledge on the matter helps a lot. I used to be in a lot of different art servers and I would ask a lot of feedback from them, and like they'd give me suggestions, be it anatomy, colors, whatever, and it was great. It gives, you know, artists tends to be a very solitary practice, so it's very easy and normal to be alone a lot of the time when making art, but having a community does help a lot, so I highly recommend that. I have a place like that. It's very helpful. Great, very good, very good. When I was doing multiple hours a day, my hand felt like it had carpal tunnel. It's much better now. I think my grip is very hard. Yeah, you gotta loosen your grip, man. Try like shaking your hands and like flicking them like you're flicking away water. That's like one good way to loosen up your hands. Like flick them back and forth and flick them side to side. Like another exercise as well, take breaks and then, so like say this is like your dominant drawing arm, right? Take your other hand and like bend it backwards and hold it for like 8 seconds, I think. And then also do it the other way and like fold down your hand and then like hold it for another 8 seconds. And then like also like rotate it and like say like your wrist is like, your palm is facing outward, Do the same like stretches, like hold and stretch or inwards, because this like helps. I forgot how it helps exactly, but it's good for your wrists and for your arm. So take breaks, take frequent breaks. If you get lost in the sauce like I do, set a timer. Ideally every 15 minutes or maybe every 30 if you really want to give yourself more time. Take a break, shake your hands, stretch them, go around and walk, so that your body doesn't stay like tensed up. It's good to take care of yourself. Remember, you also have something to worry about, yourself. Okay, you can't make art if you're not healthy. Okay, so yeah, I used to do these kinds of stretches in karate training. Oh, I just did that. My wrist cracked. Don't do it too hard. But yeah, popping's normal. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys... Do you feel like you've learned today, class? Do you feel like you learned today? I hope you're not too overwhelmed. And I'm very glad that we got to have this. This was pretty fun. Brain has grown. Yes, I'm hungry for more. Real? For real? Cap? Did I use that right? Thanks for the stream. Yeah, this is so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Now the stream is largely informative without being overwhelming. Thank you. Yes po, ma'am. May assignment pa ba? Somebody has reminded me of the homework. Okay, let's start. Let's see if you guys can put this into practice. I'll do it too. I'll write a reminder for this. I'll probably ask Siri to write it down for me. So I want you to find a picture of an apple and draw it. Just make an apple, you know? Just make an apple. And you are free to use any style you want. Just remember lessons today about light and shadow, basically. I want you guys to practice the whole values thing. And you're free to submit it on either... let me see. I can make a thread. Should I make a thread on Twitter? Do you guys want to submit it on Twitter? It's either Twitter or the Discord or both. Quick, don't buy the teacher's pet. Instructions not clear. Made a pair instead. More organized that way. On Discord? Yeah, I'll make a thread on Discord. Again, free to use any style you want. So it can be like cell-shaded, stylistic. You can use pointillism if you want. You can use cross-hatching. You can do traditional. You can do digital. Whatever the hell you want. And I guess we could have a stream where we go over the apples if you want. Do you want to do that? Or do you want me to just... Or do you just want to like have this just homework and we just look at it? That's it. Thank you, AIEN moderator, for the thumbs up. Can one person submit multiple versions? If you're going to do multiple versions, do it on one canvas. One canvas only. One canvas per person. As many apples as you want. You can fill the entire canvas with apples. It's up to you. But the main focus for our exercise today is values. And also like the value groups. So value groups that involves the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. So that is the focus of this exercise. You can make your light source anywhere as long as you state where it is exactly. You can either write it as a note or you can denote it by having like an arrow. You can draw like an arrow, like I don't know, like that. But yeah, as long as everything looks fairly cohesive. I have colored pencils, but I actually never used them before. Well, if you want to use them here, you can. You can make it black or white. You can make it colored. You can use one color. You can use 50. I don't care. We will try to basically pick apart what you have created. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. Let me make that Skye's apple thread, basically. Sorry, Skylight apple thread. It's not just mine. Okay. Threads. Create. I'm sorry we have so many threads mods. I feel like we can close some of them. Skylight Apple assignment. Feel free to submit your canvas here. Please remember, 1 canvas per person. Any amount of apples is fine. Color or black and white is okay. Focus of study is values and value groups. Highlights, midtones, and then shadows. Okay. Alright. I'll also submit mine in the future. Why did it send twice? What the heck? Yeah, I'll delete the second one. Okay. Alright, so that's our assignment. Make sure to submit it. I'll be expecting it next week. I guess I might as well make this next week. Alright, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so... Ochikai, everybody! Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me see. Why? Do you want an extension on your assignment? Do you really... Okay, how much free time do you have? Do you want an extension? Do you want an extension? Because if I make the extension too long, you guys might just procrastinate. You guys might just procrastinate, okay? I don't want to see any procrastinators submitting 1 minute before the deadline. Okay, good. All right, I trust you guys. No, next week's fine? Good. Okay. All right. So, I guess we'll be having a review class next week. All right. Good work today, class. Thank you for attending. It feels so weird to call you class. Let's Skye. Let's see. Who is your next teacher? Who will I send you off to next? Let's go see. Redirect. Alright, we've got Akirozi-san, Piko-san, Suri, and Callie. Let me refresh the page just to make sure, because it always shows me somebody new, or make sure that people is offline when I refresh. Eto dechu ne. And maybe next time I'll also leave you guys with more resources in regards to where you can study more. Let's raid into Suri. Yeah, let's raid into Suri. She's playing more Bioshock. Okay, so remember, class, be kind, courteous, and on topic. You only need to say Skye raid once and only mention us if the streamer asks, okay? And then... yes, you can have merienda afterwards or have your snack and naps, kids. Okay, alright. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you on the next stream, which is tomorrow. What's our schedule looking like tomorrow? You got work. So from teacher mode to artist mode tomorrow. And then after that, we've also got the Pat Labor Build stream for Valentine's. And then more work, and then the Metameet Cute stream. Okay. I'll probably talk about it more in the future though, that last one. But for now, I'll see you tomorrow at work, okay? Ochikai, everybody! Take care! Thank you again! Bye-bye! Hang on a second, I forgot. Wait, guys. My merch, it's ending tomorrow. The pre-orders are ending tomorrow. Before I forget, this is our end screen. So, Booba Mousepad. You can get this art that I made as Booba Mousepad. You see these? You see these tatas? You can have your wrist on them if you buy it now. Okay? Okay, that and a bunch of other things for my birthday merch. So please go check out the EIEN official store. Okay, yeah, shiny, I get it. Yeah, it's big and juicy. You want to fit my whole mouth on it. Anyway, okay, bye. Please, thank you. Bye!